Chapter 2868 Cloud Sea Nation. Lin Fei quietly returned to Cloud Sea Nation. Along the way, he concealed his aura and disrupted the space around him. Even if the Temporal Temple wanted to investigate him, it wouldn't be that easy. The people from the Temporal Temple are probably vomiting blood. It won't be that easy to follow me and investigate me. Lin Fei lay on a rocking chair and lazily read the news sent by Heavenly Heart Supremacy. Does the Divine Martial Tower really think that they can deal with me just because they have the Temporal Temple? Also, this dragon sect actually contacted the Massacre Court. Truly impressive. It really isn't easy to get all sorts of dirty water thrown at me. After he attacked the heavens will sect the Divine Martial Tower and the Dragon Sect. The Divine Martial Tower and the Dragon Sect issued a bounty, especially the Divine Martial Tower, who publicly announced that they would join the Temporal Temple. The Massacre God Court behind the Dragon Sect also sent a special envoy to place a bounty on A.O. Tian Paragon's head. The price was extremely high, attracting countless people and forces to search for A.O. Tian Paragon's tracks. Lin Fei didn't want to care about them now. There was no need for that now. Be it the Temporal Temple or the Massacre Court, Lin Fei wasn't too worried. As long as the three of them didn't act against him, he still had the ability to protect himself. Senior brother, you can just cultivate here in the future. 20 years after Lin Fei returned to Cloud Sea Nation, his fifth senior brother Long Yu came. I'll have to trouble junior brother. Long Yu said with a sigh. The Massacre Court and the Temporal Temple are really ruthless. I don't even dare to go out now because I'm afraid of meeting those fellows. Lin Fei laughed. Senior brother has become a punching bag. Since they can't find me, they naturally have to find someone else to vent their anger on. Since senior brother participated in this matter, he will definitely find trouble with you. They are really despicable. In Cloud Sea Nation, neither the Massacre Court nor the Temporal Temple dared to act recklessly, especially the place where Lin Fei cultivated. Even the Cloud Sea Nation king had to kneel and lick it. Lin Fei was currently the #1 expert in Cloud Sea Nation. Although he had not fought for tens of thousands of years, no one dared to underestimate Lin Fei's true strength. Junior brother, now that you've broken through to the Supremacy realm, what do you plan to do next? Long Yu asked curiously. Lin Fei grinned. With the Dark Shadow Palace as my backing, I have to get some benefits for myself no matter what. After holding back for so many years, it's time for me to perform well. Otherwise, I'll be forgotten by them. Ha ha ha, well said. Long Yu agreed with him. The foundation of the Dark Shadow Palace is unimaginable. If junior brother can soar to the sky, you will definitely receive even greater benefits, and your status will also be higher. Right now, many forces are looking for junior brother, coveting the body tempering technique that junior brother is cultivating. This step must be taken. In the past 20 years, Long Yu had heard a lot of news, most of which was about his junior brother Lin Fei. For example, the body tempering technique. Many people could see that this body refinement technique was absolutely top-notch. It was able to withstand the self-destruction of a supremacy. Even with the protection of the heavenly deity armor, it might not have been so easy. It was definitely because of the heavenly deity physique. It's time to take action. Lin Fei smiled and said, I plan to break through after another 10,000 years. By then it will have been 100,000 years, and no one will suspect me. 10,000 years. Lin Fei had been cultivating in the Cloud Sea Nation, and he was also paying attention to the movements in the Saint Spirit domain. The news about the A.O. Tian Lord had been spreading for 300 years, but it gradually faded and was replaced by many influential figures. Very few people would pay attention to this matter. The Massacre Court and the Temporal Temple also seemed to have given up on the search. Ever since he disappeared, there were no more traces of the A.O. Tian Lord. He had completely disappeared from the Saint Spirit domain. They did not hesitate to use their secret techniques, but they still returned empty-handed. 6,000 years ago, the Blood Fiend Nation recovered its strength, and they rebuilt the Blood Fiend sect. They sent out a group of elite heavenly gods to start small-scale wars at the border. The Cloud Sea mountain range became the focus of competition again. The war affected a lot of people. The ruler of the Cloud Sea Nation and the ruler of the Blood Fiend Nation personally took action. They fought several times on the Cloud Sea mountain range, but there was no clear victor. The war entered a stalemate. This lasted for 500 years. In 500 years, the ruler of the Blood Fiend Nation invited the expert under Venerable One's sword, Heavenly God Quicksand. This person was the Heavenly God Quicksand, who was defeated by Lin Fei back then. Now he was Venerable Quicksand. Even though he used a secret technique, he was still a venerable lord. Once Venerable Quicksand arrived, he slaughtered his way through and occupied the Cloud Sea mountain range. Lin Fei, I have become a venerable lord. What about you? Venerable Quicksand came to provoke him. Venerable Quicksand had never forgotten that he had died in Lin Fei's hands. This time he came back for revenge. He wanted to destroy Lin Fei's main body, so that he would never have the chance to step into the Eighth Order Heavenly God realm. In these 100,000 years, Venerable Quicksand had been paying attention to the situation. Physique tempering was notoriously hard to cultivate. Every time Lin Fei went out, Venerable Quicksand would arrange for people to keep an eye on him. Seeing that Lin Fei's cultivation had not broken through, he felt even more relieved. Let's see how long you can endure. Heavenly God Quicksand charged in. Even a heavenly god was defeated by him. The ruler of the Sea Cloud Nation was forced to retreat again and again. Venerable Quicksand was powerful, forcing the ruler of the Sea Cloud Nation to hide in the capital and activate the formation. Lin Fei, if you don't come out, I'll destroy the capital. Venerable Quicksand's voice was loud and clear. Weren't you very powerful in the past? What? You don't dare to come out now? Is it because you don't have the courage to take that step? Inside the palace, the ruler of the Sea Cloud Nation was as anxious as an ant on a hot pan. I can only wait for the venerable lord to come down. All these years, Lin Fei had been in seclusion. The ruler of the Sea Cloud Nation could roughly guess. This personal disciple of Lin Fei didn't seem to have much influence in the Dark Shadow Palace. If it wasn't for the fact that he was the personal disciple of great Paragon Hantian, almost no one would know about him. Venerable Quicksand was outside the capital and wasn't in a hurry to attack. He was like a cat toying with a mouse. Every day passed. The heavenly god experts in the capital felt even more pressured. There was nothing more humiliating than being blocked by a venerable lord in the capital. The Sea Cloud Nation is right in front. Under the guidance of a middle-aged man, 2 youths passed through many nations and entered a new nation. Deacon Lee, I can't believe that Exalt Quicksand, who ascended with medicinal pills, actually asked us to take action. Grand Monarch Heavenshaker's disciple, Lin Fei's personal disciple, is so weak. A young man with a proud face said with contempt and disdain. That goes without saying. I heard that among the people who came with Lin Fei, he is the worst off. Look at senior brother Duguijin. He has made a name for himself. There is also senior brother Sheng Tianzi and the others. Which one of them isn't famous in the Saint Spirit domain? The leader, Deacon Lee, coughed lightly. All right, don't talk nonsense. No matter what, that person is the personal disciple of great Paragon Hantian. You should know that he's very protective. Deacon Lee was a veteran, so he knew what to say and what not to say. Our mission this time is to chase away that venerable Quicksand. The 2 young heavenly gods stopped talking. They looked down on Lin Fei even more. When they entered the Sea Cloud Nation, the first thing they saw was venerable Quicksand, who was blocking the capital of the Sea Cloud Nation. A mere pseudo-venerable lord dares to be so impudent here. The 2 youths were about to attack. At this time, a sharp voice came from the sky above the sea cloud nation. You died once, and you still dare to come again. 1 month after Venerable Quicksand attacked the capital, Lin Fei attacked from afar, sealing soul, severing palm. This was the power of the second stage of the Saint Spirit's 9th stage secret technique. Chapter 2869. The 2 young heavenly gods from the Dark Shadow Palace's headquarters were startled by the sudden scene. This seems to be the sealing soul-breaking palm, a killing move of the body tempering school. Did Lin Fei make a move? It seems to be quite powerful. I heard that Lin Fei is the only one who knows this move. The 2 were in a daze for a while before they reacted. High Lord Quicksand had been killed. Wasn't he the one they had dealt with? The internal competition in the Dark Shadow Palace's headquarters was fierce. When they heard that a small-scale war had broken out in the Cloud Nation and that the monarch had asked for help, but Lin Fei was useless, some young people from the Dark Shadow Palace's headquarters came up with a plan. This was their chance to perform. If Xiao Qin could get rid of a pseudo-supremacy like Quicksand, he would have made a great contribution. The people above would also remember him. Compared to Lin Fei's personal disciple, it would be clear who was stronger and who was weaker. Therefore, they came in a hurry under Deacon Li's lead, intending to perform well and let that personal disciple, Lin Fei, know that there was a huge gap between them and him. However, the scene in front of them shattered all their fantasies. Deacon Li was also quite surprised. The sealing, soul-breaking palm. Deacon Li had heard of Lin Fei's name before. He was the only one who had become the disciple of great monarch Heaven Shaker. Now, 100,000 years had passed. Compared to the others, Lin Fei's performance was too embarrassing. The power doesn't seem right. Since when was the first level of power able to kill a High Lord? Even though High Lord Quicksand's strength was only at the level of an ordinary High Lord, could it be that Lin Fei has become a High Lord? Lin Fei's performance had disrupted Deacon Li's plan. Deacon Li's original plan was to teach Lin Fei, Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker's direct disciple, a lesson. He would teach Grand Monarch Lin Fei a lesson. It would be a great disgrace for a useless personal disciple to need people from the headquarters to deal with this matter. Now that Master Quicksand had destroyed him with one move, their efforts had been in vain. He's attacking again. With the death of Supremacy Quicksand, the experts who had been using his connections to intimidate others immediately dispersed. For example, the ruler of the Blood Fiend country was so frightened that he turned around and ran. He cursed at Lin Fei for being so shameless. To think that he could hide until now. He was too black-hearted. It was as if they had become clowns. It was not that Lin Fei was afraid of them, but that he could not be bothered with them. Since you're here, there's no need to leave. The giant hand reached out again. Bang, bang, bang. Wherever the large hand passed, space would collapse. Regardless of whether it was heavenly deities or country lords, wherever the power spread, everything would be destroyed, truly dying without a complete corpse. Outside the Yunhai nation, everything returned to silence. After a short period of time, the capital erupted into cheers. Everyone became excited, and their gazes all turned toward the mountain peak with reverence. Deacon Li, what should we do now? The 2 people behind him asked. Now that he was dead, he couldn't do anything even if he wanted to. Deacon Li's expression darkened. He is dead, but Lin Fei was incompetent. This crime cannot be erased. The higher-ups have ordered us to bring him back and punish him severely. Let's go and meet that Lin Fei now. Even though he had lost a chance to show off, Deacon Li still had to complete another mission. Bring Lin Fei back. Yes, we must bring Lin Fei back. His personal disciple was in charge of the Yunhai nation, and yet such a thing happened. He completely disregarded the matter. What a scandal! The 2 people hurriedly agreed. However, the joy of the Yunhai nation's ruler had not ended yet. Deacon Li had brought people over. The Yunhai nation's ruler went up to welcome him warmly and respectfully. "Hello, Deacon Li, hello." To be able to hold the position of a deacon in the Dark Shadow Palace meant that he was quite capable. He had a faction behind him, and the Yunhai nation's ruler could not afford to offend him. "Where's that Lin Fei?" Deacon Li asked indifferently with a stern expression. "He's still up there." The Yunhai nation's ruler looked at Deacon Li and knew that he did not come with good intentions. He sighed for Lin Fei in his heart. "The rumors seem to be true. Bring us over." Since Supreme Lord Quicksand was already dead, Deacon Li could not be bothered to waste any more time. He decided to bring Lin Fei back directly. A mere ruler would not dare to stop them. All right. The Yunhai nation's ruler did not have the confidence to do so. He could only bring Deacon Li up the mountain. "Lord Lin Fei, I am the Yunhai nation's ruler. Someone from the headquarters wants to meet you." The Yunhai nation's ruler stood outside the door and said. This courtyard was very ordinary, but the Yunhai nation's ruler did not dare to barge in. What arrogance! Deacon Li came personally, but he did not come out to welcome him. Deacon Li frowned slightly, and a look of displeasure appeared on his face. Even a personal disciple would have to give a deacon some face at times. Moreover, Lin Fei was just a personal disciple with no potential. If he was a smart person, he would have come out to welcome him instead of putting on airs here. The Yunhai nation's ruler shrank his neck. The atmosphere became oppressive and cold, and he felt extremely uncomfortable. He secretly hated that this young man did not know how to speak. Wasn't he clearly here to cause trouble? The courtyard was very quiet. Lin Fei did not come out. Deacon Li's expression became more and more unsightly. He was here on behalf of the Dark Shadow Palace, but that Lin Fei actually did not come out. This was like a slap to their faces. This was simply outrageous. "Lin Fei, why are you still not coming out? Are you going to let Deacon Li wait forever?" Deacon Li came from above. "Why are you still not coming out?" If Lin Fei did not come out, the ones who were the happiest were the two young men. Today they had offended Deacon Li. Even if they became a disciple of a supreme, they would still have to suffer. Another long while passed. Deacon Li's expression was extremely unsightly. Creak! The courtyard's gate opened. Lin Fei's lazy aura came out. What kind of people are these? Don't they know that disturbing others is a very immoral thing to do? When the Yunhai nation's ruler heard this, he knew that he was in trouble. "Lord Lin Fei, this is Deacon Li from above. He is specially here to deal with Supremacy Quicksand's matters." At this moment, Deacon Li could no longer conceal his anger. "How dare you speak like this?" The young man behind Deacon Li said. Quickly apologized to Deacon Li. "That's right, Deacon Li is here for your matter. It's fine that you didn't come out to welcome him, but you still dare to speak to him like this." Lin Fei raised his eyelids, and his gaze turned cold. "Shut up." His cold gaze swept across the two young men. The two young men instantly felt as though they had fallen into a terrifying hell. Their bodies turned cold and they subconsciously trembled. "Lin Fei, what are you doing?" Deacon Li shouted. Lin Fei could sense intense hostility from the three of them. Chapter 2870. "You dare!" Apologize right now. Who do you think you are to put on airs before us?" The two people Deacon Li brought with him both had powerful backgrounds. With a High Lord as their backing, they could do whatever they wanted in the Dark Shadow Palace, as long as they didn't offend some powerful people, who dared to not give a High Lord face. More importantly, their talent was outstanding, reaching peak 7th Order Heavenly God realm at such a young age, and they had mastered the Holy Spirit body tempering secret art. If they joined hands, they could even fight a High Lord. If it was another great sovereign's personal disciple, they would have to be careful. After all, the Dark Shadow Palace had a total of 5 great sovereigns. Their importance was obvious, and their personal disciples had always been outstanding. Great sovereign Hantians personal disciples were an exception. It was very difficult to become a high lord on the body-tempering path, unlike the emperor-intent path, where there were some shortcuts. Lin Fei had been Grand Monarch Heavenshaker's last legacy disciple 100,000 years ago. However, he didn't seem to have much potential. All of his other legacy disciples had gone far ahead of him, except for Lin Fei. He had almost been forgotten by the Dark Shadow Palace. This was also the reason they looked down on Lin Fei. Now that they were provoked, they were displeased. A body-tempering cultivator with no potential dared to put on airs in front of them? What the hell was this? Deacon Li did not stop them. No one had ever dared to not give him face. Who didn't know he had a high lord behind him? A high lord with considerable influence at that. Both of them glared at each other. If Lin Fei didn't apologize, they would definitely teach him a lesson today. As for the scene of quicksand supremacy getting killed, the two of them did not think too much about it. A fellow who used a medicinal pill to ascend could not be that powerful. No matter how arrogant Lin Fei was, he was no match for the two of them. Deacon Li, I really want to know. I'm a great sovereign's personal disciple. What right do they have to put on airs in front of me, and even want me to apologize? Do you think that's possible? Lin Fei asked. I don't remember there being such a rule in the Dark Shadow Palace. The identity of great Sovereign Han Tian's personal disciple was more prestigious than any other personal disciple, as it represented great Sovereign Han Tian's face. Deacon Li's dislike of Lin Fei grew. Not sensible at all. Did I? I don't think I saw it. Deacon Li said indifferently. You, on the other hand, consider everyone beneath you. You can't even manage a country of clouds properly. Isn't that too outrageous? Now come with us. Lin Fei paid little attention to the matters of the Dark Shadow Palace. He had no idea what was going on inside the Dark Shadow Palace. Are you going to take me back and charge me with incompetence? That will damage the reputation of the Dark Shadow Palace. Lin Fei knew that he was involved in something. He had never heard of anyone from above escorting a direct disciple who did not perform well. It seemed like he was enjoying such treatment now. Deacon Li snorted. It's good that you know. Don't make things difficult for us. From Deacon Li's point of view, as long as he brought him back, no matter how courageous Lin Fei was, he wouldn't dare to act recklessly. He would definitely go with him. As long as he brought him back, it wouldn't be Lin Fei's turn to speak. It's not that I can't go back with you, Lin Fei said. But I have to ask Senior Brother, since when did direct disciples enjoy such treatment? Deacon Li became anxious when he heard this. If he informed the disciples of great Venerable Shaker Sky, it would be impossible to bring Lin Fei back, let alone complete the task given to him. How dare you resist? Deacon Li said angrily, Arrest him. King Yunhai said cautiously, Deacon Li, is there a misunderstanding here? King Yunhai, don't interfere in this matter. Deacon Li warned King Yunhai and gave a look to the two people behind him. Go. One of the youths took out a treasure, and it flew out like a golden beam of light. With a whoosh, it wrapped around Lin Fei's body in circles, binding him tightly. This is a treasure that we specially prepared for you. It's specially used to confine your physical body. Once your physical body is sealed, your strength will also be sealed. Now you can obediently come with us. Deacon Li knew how powerful a heavenly god of the body tempering school was. They were best at prolonged battles, which was also the weakness of a heavenly god of the Emperor Will school. Therefore, special treasures were needed to deal with a heavenly god of the body tempering school. Lin Fei looked at the golden rope on his body. Is this what you're relying on? You're too naive. I, Lin Fei, don't offend anyone. But that doesn't mean that I'll let anyone bully me. Now, I suspect that you're pretending to be from the Dark Shadow Palace. In fact, you're spies of the Massacre Court. Spies of the Massacre Court? Deacon Li and the other two people couldn't help but laugh. They looked at Lin Fei as if he was an idiot. Ha ha ha, Lin Fei, oh Lin Fei, you really know how to talk. You actually suspect that we're spies of the massacre court. Even if we're spies of the massacre court, what can you do to us? The young man said proudly, You're our prisoner now, and you still want to bite us. Lin Fei narrowed his eyes. Then you're out of luck. Boom! Lin Fei, whose aura was originally sealed, gently stomped his foot and pushed himself up. The golden rope treasure wrapped around him gave off cracking sounds and broke into several pieces without any warning. Lin Fei regained his freedom. Spies of the massacre court, you deserve to die. A huge palm whipped toward the three people. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. A gale blew. Deacon Li and the other two reacted quickly. They didn't have time to think, and barriers appeared one after another. The palm didn't look big, but it carried a terrifying force. It first whipped Deacon Li, and cracking sounds could be heard. The protective emperor will was shattered, and the power did not stop there. The protective emperor will of the two people beside him was also shattered, and the three of them were sent flying like kites with their strings cut. How dare you pretend to be Deacon Li? I'll whip you to death. Lin Fei moved horizontally, arriving in front of Deacon Li. He reached out and grabbed Deacon Li's neck. In an instant, Deacon Li's strength was sealed, and his other hand slapped Deacon Li's face. Pa pa! After 2 slaps, Deacon Li's lower body kept collapsing. Bastard! I'm going to kill you. Let go of me. Deacon Li's eyes were scarlet, and his killing intent was overwhelming. I'm a deacon of the Dark Shadow Palace. You offended me, and I'll make you wish you were dead. Lin Fei smiled coldly and slapped him again. Bang! Deacon Li's body collapsed. Lin Fei reached out and grabbed again. Deacon Li wanted to run, but his neck was grabbed again and his strength was sealed. Lin Fei, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to wipe out your entire family. Come on, come on. Chapter 2871. On the mountain peak, outside the courtyard. Lin Fei, I'm going to kill you. You're dead. Deacon Li roared again and again, but his body exploded again and again. His aura was getting weaker and weaker. Yun High Country King was completely stunned. That was Deacon Li. Just a moment ago, he was still acting arrogantly. Now his body exploded more than 20 times. Each time was more vicious than the last. It was a tragic sight. If this happens a few more times, Deacon Li is dead. King Yun mourned for Deacon Li and praised himself for being quick-witted. Fortunately, he did not offend Lin Fei. The feeling of slaps after slaps was really unpleasant. At the start, Deacon Li had a backer behind him. He did not have to be afraid of making things difficult for Lin Fei. Moreover, he was just an errand boy. Who would have thought that Lin Fei was so strong? His body exploded time and time again, and each time he recovered, he used up a large amount of his life force. After more than 20 times, Deacon Li could not hold on any longer. He was getting weaker and weaker. No matter how strong his life force was, it could not withstand such consumption. Stop, I admit defeat. Deacon Li returned to his original form and begged for mercy. Lin Fei's hand didn't stop moving. Another palm came down. Didn't you want to kill me? You want to kill my entire family? Why should I stop? Deacon Li's face was pale. Despair and fear could be seen in the depths of his eyes. Lord Lin Fei, please stop. I can't hold on any longer. I did not come to make things difficult for you on purpose. Someone wants to deal with you, and I'm just an errand boy. Who wants to deal with me? Deacon Li could not care less. He was afraid that if this continued, he would be beaten to death. It's the Elysian Sun who wants to deal with you. Lin Fei frowned. Why do they want to deal with me? There must be a reason. Don't tell me you don't know. I don't mind giving you another slap. In the past 100,000 years, he would not go to the headquarters of the Dark Shadow Palace unless it was necessary. He had been keeping a low profile all these years. It was really incomprehensible that someone would target him. Deacon Li was completely terrified. The other party's palm strikes did not contain any emotion at all. It would be strange if he did not feel fear. I heard it's for a spot in the Dark Shadow Palace. Deacon Lee quickly said, I think it's about the Shadow Throne. Yes, it's about the Shadow Throne. Lin Fei was confused. Shadow Throne. Xiao Chen had been in the Dark Shadow Palace for almost 100,000 years, but he did not pay much attention to the affairs of the Dark Shadow Palace. Now that Deacon Lee mentioned it, he really did not know much about the Dark Shadow Throne. Check the Shadow Throne for me. Lin Fei immediately contacted Little Devil to look through the information. A moment later, the information on the Shadow Throne appeared. After checking, Lin Fei came to a sudden realization. So that's how it is. They really dared to make a move. Deacon Lee saw that Lin Fei was deep in thought and felt uneasy. He did not know what Lin Fei was thinking. He regretted coming to the Cloud Nation. Lin Fei, who was not valued by others, seemed to have extremely powerful strength. At the very least, he could easily kill pseudo-supremacies. Back then, when he was in the Dark Shadow Palace, Lin Fei had collected all sorts of ancient books and secrets. Many of them had not been read by Lin Fei and had been stored in the system. He could read them at any time. Just now, Lin Fei realized that his 100,000 years of low profile seemed to have become a form of inaction in everyone's eyes. Elysian Sun, you really have a good plan. You actually want to fight for the position of my personal disciple. You are courting death. Killing intent surged in Lin Fei's heart, and his gaze became cold. Under this gaze, Deacon Lee's hair stood on end, and he felt like he was suffocating. How can he be so terrifying? All right, you can scram now. Lin Fei did not have any thoughts of killing Deacon Lee. The Dark Shadow Palace would not allow this kind of thing to happen. Once it happened, the punishment would be severe. Throughout the years, no one had dared to do such a thing. Lin Fei was no fool. He would never challenge the Dark Shadow Palace's iron rules, unless his strength reached a level where he could affect a 10th Order Heavenly God Realm Master. I'll scram right now. Deacon Lee dared not utter a single word, turning around and running away. Lord Lin Fei, I really didn't know they were here to cause trouble for you, Yun High Ruler said in a low voice, afraid that he would blame him. It's fine. This matter isn't your fault. You can leave now. You need to deal with the aftermath. I'll do it right away. Yun High Ruler turned around and left. Dark Shadow Throne. On a stone bench in the courtyard, Lin Fei was silently flipping through the information in his hand, a slight frown on his forehead. I really didn't expect there to be such a place inside the Dark Shadow Palace that only opens once every 500,000 years. Only venerable lords are allowed to enter, and there's even a great sovereign's personal disciple. As a great sovereign's personal disciple, I really have an advantage. No wonder the Elysian Heavenly Prince wanted to cause trouble for me. The Dark Shadow Throne was the Dark Shadow Palace's holy land. The two words holy land showed how important the Dark Shadow Throne was. Inside this holy land, there were many opportunities, and it was the place that venerable lords yearned for the most. Divine weapons, saint spirit realm cultivation techniques, heavenly deity battle armors, and so on. In truth, Lin Fei wasn't very interested in this kind of holy land. The only thing that piqued Lin Fei's interest was the large amount of life force and divine essence sand. Now that the Elysian Heavenly Prince had sent people to cause trouble for him, even though Lin Fei wasn't very interested in the Holy Land, the Elysian Heavenly Prince's actions displeased him. I originally planned to make a trip to the Dark Shadow Palace after some time, but it seems like I really have to make a trip there. Otherwise, anyone will jump out at me. Lin Fei's gaze turned cold. Hua hua hua! Suddenly, the space above the courtyard fluctuated. Junior brother, are you all right? A person came out of the void. It was the fourth senior brother, Wenren Jinong. He looked rather anxious, but he couldn't help but heave a sigh of relief when he saw that Lin Fei was safe and sound. Lin Fei hadn't seen his fourth senior brother for a long time. Thank you for your concern, fourth senior brother. Look at me. What could possibly happen to me? Wenren Zhengong heaved a sigh of relief. It's good to see that you're all right. By the way, is Attendant Li here? Under normal circumstances, he should be here by now. Could it be that he was delayed? Are you talking about Attendant Li? He brought people back. Lin Fei chuckled. He went back. How is that possible? Wenren Zhengong knew Attendant Li's strength. With the three of them working together and the treasures of the Dark Shadow Palace, this junior brother of his was really not easy to deal with. Is there a mistake? Attendant Li isn't that easy to negotiate with. He really went back. Lin Fei said, I gave him more than 20 slaps and then went back. That can't be right. More than 20 slaps? Wenren Zhengong still didn't quite believe it. Ever since he knew that Attendant Li had come to the Yunhai nation, he had come as soon as he could, afraid that his junior brother, Lin Fei, would be at a disadvantage. Of course, Lin Fei smiled and released his aura. The aura of the 8th tier of the sacred cloud dragon traversal body was unleashed. Chapter 2872. Wenren Zhengong came for Lin Fei. The Dark Shadow Palace looked peaceful from the outside, but the internal competition was fierce. After all, the distribution of resources was very important for a top force. Everyone wanted more resources. With resources, they would be able to cultivate better. Everyone attached great importance to resources, using all kinds of methods. That hierarch Dark Shadow did not place too many restrictions on the lower ranks, as long as they did not cross the bottom line. Fighting for resources was also a kind of cultivation method. When eldest senior apprentice brother Chongyang heard that someone wanted to make a move against Lin Fei, he immediately sent Wenren Zhengong over. No one dared to disrespect him. The only unexpected thing was that junior apprentice brother Lin Fei had quietly advanced to 8th Order Heavenly God Realm, becoming a venerable lord of the body tempering school. Wenren Zhengong was ecstatic. This is great. Master will be very happy if he finds out. Wenren Zhengong had been stuck at the venerable lord realm for a long time. He knew how difficult it was to break through. Thus he had been worried about his junior apprentice brother Lin Fei. I just advanced some time ago. At that time, the blood fiend ruler brought people to cause trouble. I was at a critical moment, so I did make a move. I didn't expect them to really seize the opportunity. Lin Fei came up with an excuse. Then you should have informed us. Wenren Zhengong grumbled. If any of us had come, they wouldn't have dared to act presumptuously even if you gave them 100 guts. You are really... Lin Fei smiled wryly. I thought breaking through was easy, so... You are... It was the first time Wenren Zhengong had heard such an excuse. He looked disappointed. Luckily, you have leveled up. What I have been worrying about the most won't happen. Otherwise, you'll be punished by our master to face the wall for 10,000 years. Warmth rose in Lin Fei's heart. Thank you, senior apprentice brother. It won't happen again. This was the first time when Wenren Zhengong saw his junior apprentice brother's guts. Since you've broken through to 8th Order Heavenly God Realm, it's time to return to the Dark Shadow Palace. Becoming a venerable lord in 100,000 years is not bad. Lin Fei nodded. Actually, I have the same thought. Now that my cultivation is successful, it's time to show others, lest they think I'm easy to bully. Lin Fei didn't need to make any arrangements to go to the Dark Shadow Palace's headquarters. Before he left, he informed senior brother Longyu that there was no need to worry about the matters in the Cloud Sea Nation. The two of them headed to the headquarters of the Dark Shadow Palace together. Wenren Zhengong couldn't stop praising his junior, Lin Fei's strength. They were both body-tempering school supremacies, especially close combat experts, and both had martial arts fanatics in their hearts. On that very day, they sparred with each other, and the scene was extremely exciting. Unfortunately, only the two of them could see it. You must participate in the shadow throne this time. Wenren Zhengong seriously said on the way. Originally, I wasn't interested in this, but since they didn't want me to go and wanted to pull me down, then I must go once to broaden my horizons. Now, Lin Fei's interest was piqued. Wenren Zhengong smiled and said, "The Shadow Throne is our Dark Shadow Palace's sacred land. It's said that our supreme divinity obtained this place from a certain place. It's very mysterious, and it opens once every 500,000 years. In the entire Saint Spirit domain, only the Massacre Court and the Space-Time Temple have such a sacred land." Lin Fei asked curiously, "Senior brother, have you been there?" "Yes, I have. That place is very mysterious, but unfortunately I didn't gain anything from it. But I've broadened my horizons." Wenren Zhengong said with a hint of regret, "If you want to go a second time, you have to accumulate contribution points. If you don't gain anything from it, it's good to broaden your horizons. For example, there are demons from the demonic nation suppressed by the supreme divinity. Each of them is at the level of a great supremacy. That place is truly demonic." Lin Fei's eyes narrowed. "It can't be. There are really great demons there. Aren't they afraid of causing destruction in there?" Wenren Zhengong said mysteriously, "There aren't any. Those great devils are all confined to a certain area to be used as training. It is said that whoever can kill a great devil will be able to obtain some good stuff." Lin Fei's heart was moved. Deacon Li's clone immediately went to report the situation. In a huge mansion in the Dark Shadow Palace, the Elysian Son of Heaven sat high up in his seat. 100,000 years had passed. The sacred son of the past had become the new supremacy of the Dark Shadow Palace and had great influence in the Dark Shadow Palace. In that case, the mission has failed. The Holy Son of Heaven was dressed in white and was filled with a holy aura. Behind him was a great Buddha. It was faintly discernible, as if it did not belong to the mortal world. Her soft words were spoken in an irresistible tone. Deacon Li knelt on the ground. "I didn't expect it either. That Lin Fei's strength doesn't match the information." The Elysian Son of Heaven had a pure and holy look on his face, which was very different from before. "Get up. You can't be blamed for this." Xingtian raised his left hand and a white spiritual bead condensed. "Your clone used up your life force. This is your compensation." "Thank you, High Lord." Deacon Li retreated from the hall. "Brother Xingtian, it seems like your people are lacking After Deacon Li left, a middle-aged man exuding a strong Buddhist aura walked out from the side hall. "I heard that Lin Fei has been great Venerable Hantian's personal disciple for 100,000 years, but he has yet to break through to 8th Order Heavenly God Realm. He is the weakest disciple of Brother Xingtian's generation. Logically speaking, Deacon Li and the other two shouldn't have failed. Elysian Son of Heaven's expression was calm, without the slightest hint of anger. "I will definitely get the qualification that belongs to you." Elysian Son of Heavenly God said, "Among great Venerable Hantian's personal disciples, he's the only one who hasn't broken through to the High Lord realm. Since the first time isn't enough, let's try again." Dark Shadow Palace headquarters in another manner. Elysian Son of Heaven's people failed? Could it be that Lin Fei's senior brother went to help? Dugu Yijian was clad in a black robe, standing by the lake. His entire person resembled a sharp long sword, his sword intent tearing the surrounding void, forming a black hole. His eyes were filled with sword intent. No one dared to look him in the eye. "No, it's Lin Fei who defeated Deacon Li has the strength of a pseudo-venerable lord," one of Dugu Yijian's confidants said. Dugu Yijian was as cold as ever. His strength has increased, but he's still trash. What can he do even if he enters a great venerable lord's tutelage? Our people sent news that Lin Fei and Wenren Zhengong are heading to the headquarters. Dugu Yijian's eyes narrowed. Interesting. In the Dark Shadow Palace headquarters, some higher-ups' affairs. It was a secret to the people below. It wasn't a secret to the higher-ups. The Elysian Heavenly Prince had arranged for people to deal with Lin Fei in secret. At this time, there were naturally many people watching. When Deacon Li and the others met with trouble, everyone knew. No one paid attention to Lin Fei's performance. Although the physique cultivation path was difficult, it still had its advantages. However, compared to people like Duge Yijian and Elysian Heavenly Prince, it was still a far cry. When they heard that Lin Fei and Wenren Jingong had returned together, they couldn't help laughing. Could it be that he couldn't swallow this humiliation and wanted to ask his master for help? Chapter 2873. Nearly 100,000 years had passed, but the Dark Shadow Palace was still the same. The passage of time did not leave any marks on the City of Shadows. It was as lively and prosperous as it was in the past. Wenren Jingong was in a good mood. The thing that had worried him the most had finally been resolved, and Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker had another powerful patriarch as his disciple. Now he didn't have to worry about being laughed at anymore. At the very least, people would know that his master had good judgment. Although there were many disciples under venerable lords, it did not mean that everyone could become a venerable lord. Many were stuck at the threshold of 7th Order Heavenly God Realm. As his senior brother, he was naturally happy that junior brother Lin Fei had successfully broken through. The two arrived at the City of Shadows. They immediately went to pay their respects to their master. Great Venerable Shaker's main body had been in secluded cultivation. This was what body-tempering cultivators liked to do the most. Compared to Emperor Will School, there were no shortcuts. By a lake, Lin Fei once again saw Great Venerable Shaker. Clad in white robes, Great Venerable Shaker was fishing with a bamboo rod in his hand. Junior brother, it's best not to disturb master's mood when he's fishing. Lin Fei was just about to say something when Wenren Jingong stopped him with a look and transmitted his voice to him. Lin Fei had only seen Great Venerable Shaker a few times, so he definitely did not know about this little rule. An hour later, the bamboo rod sank. The fish had taken the bait. Great Venerable Shaker lightly lifted the rod. Waves rose on the lake's surface as a giant fish was pulled out. It was a 7th Order Heavenly God Realm fish. However, it couldn't exert the slightest bit of strength under the bamboo rod. You're in luck today. We'll have grilled fish tonight. Great Venerable Shaker swung his arm. The fish fell to the ground, unable to move. Immediately, someone came to carry it away. Thank you, Master. Wenren Jingong was the first to speak. A 7th Order Heavenly God Realm fish, and a variant at that, it must taste good. Junior brother and I are in luck today. Disciple Lin Fei greets Master. Lin Fei cupped his fists. Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker turned around and fixed his deep eyes on Lin Fei for a moment with a smile. Not bad. You've worked hard. You've reached the 8th level of the Sacred Cloud Dragon's mighty style in less than 100,000 years. You didn't disappoint me. With that one glance, it was as if Lin Fei had seen through everything about him. Disciple has disappointed master. Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker said gently, 100,000 years? You're already very good. You can ask your 4th senior martial brother how long it took him, and how long it took you. Junior brother, it took me 150,000 years to break through to 8th Order Heavenly God Realm. Lin Fei really didn't know about this. Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker was in a good mood as he walked to a pavilion not far away and sat down. Make yourself at home. Have some tea. Of the 5 Grand Monarchs, Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker was the least arrogant, but he was also the most protective. Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker had dozens of disciples, but Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker only had 5. He was famous in the Dark Shadow Palace. Lin Fei, I heard that Elysian Son of Heaven is looking for trouble with you. Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker asked casually. Lin Fei nodded. And he arranged for Deacon Li to come over, and I beat him back. Then what do you plan to do? Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker asked. Lin Fei's eyes narrowed. I'm Master's disciple. They dared to scheme against me, which means they're not giving Master face. Therefore, I've decided to make a scene, in case they don't know Master's existence. I'll beat up whoever disagrees until they do. Ha 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 ha. Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker was overjoyed. Wenrena, you should learn from your junior martial brother. Don't spend the whole day cultivating and researching. They're bullying you. Wenren Zhangong was sweating profusely. In the City of Shadows, you can do whatever you want. Master will support you, Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker said in a domineering manner. Over the years, I've kept a low profile. Some people think that I'm backing down and are plotting against you for the Shadow Throne. How dare they? Lin Fei and Wenren Zhangong both took deep breaths. At this moment, they both felt a terrifying, killing intent. You should know about the Shadow Throne. This year's competition is different from last time. I was worried about it, but now that you've become Exalt, it couldn't be better. Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker suddenly said, This time the Shadow Throne will no longer be allocated among the participants. You'll have to fight for it. Even though you're my disciple, it'll be the same. Are you confident? Yes. Lin Fei was full of confidence. Now that you've become Exalt, I'll prepare a gift for you. Tell me, what do you want? Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker said with a smile. His killing intent had disappeared completely. A gift? It should be a reward. Lin Fei really didn't know what he wanted. He had his own weapon. Although the Sky Splitter was forged from a divine weapon made of origin power, it had a special property. It could change. This was one of the wonders of the weapon. When he was Proud Heaven, it could be the Sky Splitter. But when he was Lin Fei, it could be another weapon. Master, I want a weapon. Exalt Lord Grade weapon. I'm a little strong now, so ordinary weapons can't bear it. Lin Fei said after thinking for a moment. Now that his master had spoken, Lin Fei had a chance to make the Sky Splitter appear in front of him. It's best if it's a heavy weapon. It has to be heavy so that it'll be ferocious and domineering. Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker's smile grew even brighter. Heavy weapon? You've made the right choice. I do have a weapon. Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker stretched out his hand, and a weapon appeared in his hand. It was a purple gold hammer. This purple hammer was huge and completely different from the usual ones, as if it had been modified. This is a weapon left behind by a body-tempering school Exalt. It's called the Sky Splitter Hammer, and it has terrifying tearing power. I obtained it by chance. It's extremely heavy, and ordinary body-tempering school Exalts can't even lift it. But once it's used, it's fierce and domineering. It's famous in the Saint Spirit world. Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker said, Try it and see if you're qualified to lift it. The Sky Splitter Hammer? The Sky Splitter Hammer? Lin Fei didn't know whether to laugh or cry. With a thought, the Sky Splitter Hammer flew over, leaving a purple afterimage in its wake. Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker's gentle toss wasn't as simple as it seemed. It was purely a test for Lin Fei. Before the purple hammer reached him, Lin Fei felt an enormous gravitational force pressing down on him. The void around him seemed to be on the verge of collapsing, and at the same time, a tearing aura could be felt. Good, good. This weapon suits me perfectly. All of a sudden, Lin Fei's aura erupted. Holy dragons circled around him as he reached out to grab the hammer. Countless tearing and gravitational forces attacked Lin Fei's right hand. Although the distance was small, there were many ways to do it. Chapter 2874. Lin Fei and Wenren Zhangong left at night. The fish meat roasted by a 7th Order Heavenly God realm fish monster was extraordinarily delicious, making Lin Fei want to take some time to taste it. Only later did Lin Fei find out that this master of his had a great interest in eating. That lake had a large number of fish monsters, all of which had their consciousness erased and were kept in the lake. If it wasn't for his master being in a good mood, it would be hard to eat something of this level. Junior apprentice brother, you're really lucky, Master actually gave you the sky-splitting hammer. Wenren Zhengong said enviously, even I'm green with envy, this is a good thing, I heard that it was mixed with divine essence force sand, raising its quality by a large margin. Even a reverend's treasure wouldn't be able to withstand it head-on. Unfortunately, I couldn't carry it back then. Lin Fei had never looked at the sky-splitting hammer in detail, thinking that it was heavy enough to replace the sky-splitting rod. Divine essence force sand. His divine sense sank into it, and, as expected, he saw the problem. He was right. How is it? Did you see that? Divine essence force sand is a good thing, Wenren Zhengong said. Unfortunately, the number of people who know how to refine it is decreasing, almost to the point that there are none left. The divine essence force weapons that we see now are the ones that were passed down from the past. No way. Lin Fei frowned. Even Lord Hierarch can't do it. It's impossible. Nothing's impossible. Wenren Zhengong said, at Hierarch's level, they can master anything. But in terms of artifact forging, they are all amateurs. Lin Fei had never thought of this, but the more he thought about it, the more he felt that the sky-splitting rod he refined was amazing. Luckily, I haven't used its full power yet. In the previous battles, Lin Fei had been sealing the sky-splitting rod's power, worried that it would be too explosive, and if news of it leaked out, it would attract a lot of trouble. That's true. After all, their target isn't these small paths. Lin Fei nodded. Junior brother, I will accompany you to the Holy Spirit Palace in a few days. There are quite a lot of rewards there. You should take them too, lest you waste them. Wenren Zhengong reminded him before leaving. Senior brother, I'll go alone. Lin Fei said smilingly. Who else in the City of Shadows can cause me trouble? It's already good enough that I don't go looking for them. Ha ha ha. Under the pavilion by the lake, Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker gazed at the lake not far away. Do you like to peep from the side every time? You're a scholar after all. Don't you think it's shameless? There was a fluctuation in the void, and a middle-aged man dressed like a scholar quietly came out of the void. Han Tian, it's boring. Don't you know how to pretend? The middle-aged scholar said with dissatisfaction. I can't do it. Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker said. The middle-aged scholar shook his head. You're really a stone in a latrine pit, smelly and hard. No wonder everyone has their eyes on your disciple. I think you should go out for a stroll. Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker rolled his eyes. Do you think it's fun? Of course it's fun. Beating them until they cry for their parents. Isn't that what you martial artists like to do the most? The more the middle-aged scholar spoke, the more enthusiastic he became. Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker shook his head repeatedly. Right. What do you think of my disciple? He's not even 100,000 years old, but he's already a venerable lord. He's not any weaker than your disciples. He's not bad indeed. The sacred cloud dragon physique isn't a top cultivation technique, but his physical body is extraordinarily tough. You've really taken in a good disciple, Perhaps there will be a pleasant surprise in store. Who was Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker? He was a top 9th Order Heavenly God, Realm Master. In the entire Saint Spirit world, the number of great sovereigns was very limited. His disciple's physical body was extraordinary. This was not something an ordinary cultivation technique could achieve. He must have cultivated a powerful cultivation technique. Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker had good eyesight. Hee, why don't you take a look at whose disciple he is? Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker said complacently. Look at yourself. Do you really think you can suppress the Elysian Son of Heaven, Duga-Ejian, and the others? The middle-aged scholar mocked. Not necessarily. Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker said in a low voice. Do you know what I gave him? What? The middle-aged scholar didn't seem to care. The Heaven Splitter. What? He can hold the Heaven Splitter hammer. The scholarly middle-aged man's complexion changed. Isn't that the personal weapon of the demon nation's great demon lord? With that heaven splitter hammer, he killed countless powerhouses. That disciple of yours is actually able to wield it. This was something that no one dared to believe. Who said it wasn't? I was shocked on the spot. Does he know about the heaven splitter hammer? How would he know? In the entire Saint Spirit world, there are only a handful of people who know about it. That kid was so proud of himself. But he didn't know that he had leaked the information. The middle-aged scholar said solemnly, "That's interesting. With the heaven splitter hammer, those guys are going to be in trouble. After all, it's an incomplete divine weapon." Of course, Lin Fei didn't know that he had been tricked by his master. He returned to his cave abode. First, he took out the heaven splitter hammer. By the way, can you search for information about the heaven splitter hammer and other origin power divine weapons? The more Lin Fei looked at the heaven splitter hammer, the more extraordinary it seemed. Search it right now. It didn't seem right that his master had given such a good weapon to him so easily, because he saw that there was something wrong with his master's expression, as if there was a look of astonishment in his master's eyes. Something was wrong. Lin Fei really wanted to know more about the heaven splitter hammer, especially since his senior brother had told him how precious origin power divine weapons were. Found it. The information entered Lin Fei's mind. Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker would never have imagined that Lin Fei had scanned all the books in the Dark Shadow Palace's library, no matter what they were. It's so precious. Lin Fei's eyes widened as he realized that he had underestimated the heaven splitter hammer. "Master, are you testing me?" According to the information, this heaven splitter hammer was the personal weapon of a great demon of the devil nation, Heaven Splitter. He was an expert from tens of millions of years ago who was infinitely close to the godly venerable realm. He was known as the great demon venerable in the devil nation. 30 to 40 supremacies had died because of this weapon, and 3 grand supremacies had also died in the siege of more than 10 grand supremacies. Afterward, this weapon had fallen into the hands of the Dark Shadow Palace. However, this weapon was extremely heavy, and ordinary body-tempering supremacies couldn't carry it. Only those with top-notch heaven god bodies could carry it. There are very few heaven god bodies like this in the Saint Spirit domain. Even if there were, it would be as difficult as ascending to the heavens to cultivate it. This heaven splitter hammer had been in the Dark Shadow Palace until it was awarded to Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker. He could barely use it, but not for a long time. He had only wanted to study the refinement of origin power divine weapons. As time passed, the heaven splitter hammer lost its previous reputation. I was wondering why Master looked at me strangely after that. Turns out I've exposed myself. Lin Fei thought to himself, that's good too. The more powerful I am, the more confidence Master has in me. I don't have to worry about anything. After reading the information, Lin Fei's smile widened. With the heaven splitter hammer, my strength will increase, and it will be perfectly justifiable. No one will have any doubts anymore. This is really a great gift. Lin Fei really wanted to thank his master. Chapter 2875. Lin Fei was in no hurry to leave his residence in the City of Shadows. The Sky Splitter hammer was replaced by the Sky Splitter rod. It looked exactly the same. Even the weight of the rod was the same. Even his master wouldn't be able to tell the difference. 5 or 6 days passed leisurely in the residence. Lin Fei leisurely headed to the Sacred Spirit Palace. The Sacred Spirit Palace, as the name suggested, was a place to test one's strength. It had a very special status in the Dark Shadow Palace and was the fairest place. No matter who it was, no matter how many tricks they had to behave themselves in the Sacred Spirit Palace. One's realm and strength could be seen clearly in the Sacred Spirit Palace. I haven't been back for so long, but there are so many people who care about me. He exited the residence and walked on the road to the Sacred Spirit Palace. Lin Fei chuckled when he saw the scouts nearby. Lin Fei is heading towards the Sacred Spirit Palace. He must be testing his strength. I heard that he hasn't been to the Sacred Spirit Palace for a long time. He has only been there once so far. The news spread. Everyone knew what Lin Fei wanted to do. No one dared to do anything to a personal disciple under Venerable Skyshaker. For example, those disciples who were still in the heavenly god realm would at most look down on Lin Fei, a personal disciple with the least potential in the same batch. Lin Fei walked on the road and arrived at the Sacred Spirit Palace at a steady pace. The Sacred Spirit Palace was very lively. Compared to other places, this place was much more crowded. It was a palace with a plaza in the center of the palace. On the plaza was a black tower. This black tower was called the Sacred Spirit Tower. It had a total of 10 floors. Rumor had it that Hierarch Dark Shadow had personally set it up. The strength test on each floor was very standard. As soon as Lin Fei entered, he heard cheers coming from the plaza. Senior brother Li is amazing. He passed 3 floors in a row and is now in the 6th level of the Sacred Spirit Palace. If senior brother isn't amazing, who is? He has only been in the Dark Shadow Palace for 30,000 years. At the foot of the Sacred Spirit Tower stood a group of heavenly gods of varying cultivation levels. Lin Fei stood quietly not far away. The influence of the Dark Shadow Palace is quite great. Batch after batch of celestial god experts have good potential. With a simple glance, he knew that these disciples of the heavenly god realm had great potential. They're out. After standing there for a while, someone came out of the Holy Spirit Tower. Congratulations, Senior Brother Li. Senior Brother Li is already a 6th order heavenly god realm master. A group of celestial god disciples surrounded him. Almost immediately, a 6th order heavenly god realm supervisor came up to register. This was also a tradition of the Holy Spirit Tower. After registering, the manager would reward the applicants with contribution points. In the Dark Shadow Palace, as long as you had a breakthrough within a certain period of time, especially after you passed the assessment, you would receive contribution points as a reward. This was also a good reward to motivate everyone to train hard. After that, Senior Brother Li, more than 10 heavenly gods went to participate in the test one after another. Compared to the first Senior Brother Li, there was still a gap. Lin Fei was not in a hurry. When the dozen or so heavenly deity disciples were done, only then did Lin Fei walk up unhurriedly. This is mine. He threw the proof of identity to the supervisor. Although the supervisor was only a 6th order heavenly god realm master, he was a completely different person now that he had the authority to manage the Holy Spirit Tower, which heavenly god realm disciple did not treat him with the utmost respect. Lin Fei's actions displeased the heavenly god realm supervisor, especially when he saw the other party's young age, thinking that he was a new heavenly god realm disciple. What's your name? Don't you know that you have to follow the rules in the Holy Spirit Palace? The heavenly god realm supervisor did not look at the proof of identity. Lin Fei frowned. Follow the rules. The heavenly god realm supervisor was even more certain that the other party was a newcomer. The newcomers these days are getting more and more unruly. Don't you know that the Holy Spirit Tower's assessment needs to be booked in advance? The heavenly god realm disciples who had yet to leave knew that this newcomer was in for a bad time. Whose disciple is that? He actually doesn't know how to tidy things up. That's right. Does he really think he can enter just because he's here? Why doesn't he take a look at his background first? The heavenly god realm disciples discussed among themselves. Lin Fei could clearly hear the words around him. Benefits? Lin Fei chuckled. You want benefits? The heavenly god realm supervisor was not afraid of a newcomer. This was also an invisible rule of the Holy Spirit Tower. You want to take the assessment without benefits? Don't you know how many disciples there are in the Dark Shadow Palace? If you want to go and I want to go, wouldn't it be a complete mess? The heavenly god realm supervisor chuckled coldly. If you don't want to give me benefits, then you can just wait in line. It had only been less than 100,000 years, and Lin Fei did not think that he would encounter something like this. He seemed to recall that this had not happened the last time he was here. The Heavenly God Realm Supervisor was not afraid that this guy wouldn't give him benefits. Not bad. You've got some guts. Lin Fei walked forward. I think you should just obediently pick up my proof of identity and wait for me to come out. The Heavenly God Realm Supervisor was so enraged that he started to laugh. It had been a long time since someone dared to speak to him like this. Stop! You're not allowed to go in. The Heavenly God Realm Supervisor stepped forward and spoke in a menacing manner. Normally, no Heavenly God disciple would dare to stand still when he shouted at them. Piss off! Lin Fei waved a hand, and a huge force crashed into the Heavenly God Realm Supervisor's body, sending him rolling to the side. If you dare to stand in my way again, I'll kill you with one palm strike. The Heavenly God Realm Supervisor was also given a fright by Lin's actions. That wave of his hand was so powerful that he felt as if he was going to be torn apart. Even now, his legs had turned to jelly, and he could only watch as Lin walked into the Holy Spirit Tower. Be *starred, how dare you hit me? The Heavenly God Realm Supervisor was enraged, and his eyes were filled with hatred. How dare you hit me? You're done for. He immediately pulled out his communication talisman. Manager by someone has forced his way into the Holy Spirit Palace and is even assaulting someone. You have to uphold justice for me. All the Heavenly God disciples in the distance widened their eyes. Who knows who that person is? That's insane. How dare he hit the manager? Could he be a disciple of the exalted Lord? How is that possible, if he's an elder's disciple who would dare to put on airs? Maybe he's a newcomer. I think I've informed Manager Bai. Something big is going to happen. These Heavenly God disciples immediately sent out the news. In the Dark Shadow Palace, where rules were as strict as the heavens, no one dared to hit a manager. Even a sixth order Heavenly God Realm Cultivator had great authority in the Dark Shadow Palace. Such a thing hadn't happened in a long time. News of this immediately spread among the disciples of the Heavenly Deity Realm. Some busybodies all came to watch the liveliness. Everyone wanted to know which new disciple was so tyrannical, actually not giving face to the steward at all, making a move at the slightest disagreement. This was no different from throwing a rock into the peaceful Dark Shadow Palace. A short while later, a manager hurried over with a dozen Heavenly God disciples. This manager was none other than Manager Bai. Manager Bai's sharp gaze swept over the Heavenly God disciples, causing them to shiver in fear, not daring to meet his gaze. Chapter 2876. He's in. Caretaker Bai said coldly, I really don't know what you're doing. You can't even keep an eye on one person. What a disgrace. The Heavenly God Manager lowered his head, not daring to look at her. Wait for him to come out. Chief Steward Bai was not considered a warden in the Dark Shadow Palace, but he was still a steward with considerable authority. More importantly, his backer was the Elysian Sun. In the Dark Shadow Palace, Dugu Ijian, the Elysian Sun, and Batian were the strongest of the younger generation. They all had the support of the Deacon Elders and had great influence in the Dark Shadow Palace. In the last assessment, Lin Fei stopped at the Saint Spirit 3rd level. He wasn't interested in this kind of test, so he didn't come. This time, Lin Fei was planning to go to the Dark Shadow Throne. In a place like the Dark Shadow Palace, the rules were unchangeable, which was why he decided to take the assessment. Enemies would appear on every floor of the Holy Spirit Palace. Only by defeating the enemy would they be able to advance to the next level. The rules were simple, but it was still difficult to do it. Last time, I refrained from making a move. It's a good time to settle this once and for all. The first enemy appeared. Lin Fei waved his hand and a powerful force swept out. After killing the other party, Zhang Xian successfully entered the next level. Chief Steward sat there with his saber in his hand, exuding a cold and gloomy aura. Fourth layer of the Saint Soul realm. In Manager Bai's opinion, this new disciple's strength was only around 6th order heavenly god realm. Once he came out, he would let him know the consequences of being so impudent. On the plaza, many heavenly god disciples came to watch. Chief Steward didn't stop them. He couldn't wait to let everyone know that anyone who acted presumptuously here would be unlucky. Look, it's the 4th layer of the Saint Soul realm. 5th layer of the Saint Soul realm. 6th layer of the Saint Soul realm. 7th layer of the Saint Soul realm. The expressions of the heavenly god disciples changed slightly. This speed was too fast. That's way too fast. Could that person be trying to break through to the 8th level of the Saint Spirit realm? That's not the supremacy realm anymore. Someone exclaimed. In the past, every level of the Holy Spirit Palace required time. He had never seen anything so fast. Chief Steward was currently resting with his eyes closed. When he heard the discussion, he opened his eyes and furrowed his brows. As expected, the other party had stopped at the 7th level of the Saint Soul realm. Steward don't listen to their nonsense. That guy will definitely come out soon. It's not that easy to reach the 8th layer of the Saint Soul realm. I've never heard of a new Lord of the High Lord appearing in our Dark Shadow Palace. Manager also didn't believe that anyone could break through to the 8th level of the Saint Spirit realm. The Dark Shadow Palace was so big that they would still know about the slightest movement. Currently, there was really no Lord Supremacy who had just been promoted. That time, those big shots didn't come in a large group. How could they come to take the test alone? I must be thinking too much. Chief Steward shook his head, but in the next second, cries of surprise erupted in the square. 8th level of the Saint Spirit realm. Are you kidding me? A High Lord has appeared. Heavens, I actually saw someone successfully break through to the 8th level of the Saint Spirit realm. Those heavenly deity disciples were all dumbfounded. His breathing quickened. This was the birth of a supremacy. Chief Steward Bai's eyes widened as he stared fixedly at the 8th level of the Saint Spirit realm. His expression flickered and he could no longer remain calm. How is this possible? That kid is a High Lord. The previous steward's voice trembled. A heavenly god realm disciple and a High Lord couldn't be compared. A High Lord could deal with him with a single word. There were so many 7th order heavenly god realm disciples in the Dark Shadow Palace, but those that could break through to the High Lord realm were few and far between. Something big is going to happen. Chief Steward stood up with a whoosh and slapped the steward's face. Why aren't you picking up the identification? Let's see who it is. Even if Chief Steward relied on Lord Elysian, Heavenly Son, he didn't have much confidence in a High Lord. At this time, Chief Steward really wanted to slap this guy to death. You're stopping a High Lord from taking the test. Aren't you courting death? It's him. It's actually him. The moment he picked up the identification and saw the name on it, his legs went soft. Who? Chief Steward asked anxiously. It's great Lord Hantian's disciple, Lin Fei. Ah, it's that good-for-nothing Lin Fei. Chief Steward didn't dare to believe it. How did that guy break through? Didn't they say that it would take him at least 300,000 years to break through? It hasn't even been 100,000 years, okay? Great Lord Hantian was like a mountain pressing down on everyone's hearts. As Lin Fei stepped into the 8th layer of the Saint Spirit Palace, the entire Dark Shadow Palace rang with a loud bell. The unique bell of the Holy Spirit Palace was automatically set. Whenever a heavenly god realm disciple entered the 8th layer, the bell would ring automatically. This meant that a High Lord had appeared in the Dark Shadow Palace. Dang, dang, dang! The sound was loud and clear. The first to hear it was the Dark Shadow Palace's High Lord. His gaze immediately fell on the Saint Spirit Palace. No way! Someone broke through again. I wonder whose disciple it is. Quick, let's go take a look. If he's lucky, he might even become a High Lord's disciple. The heavenly god realm disciple reacted quickly. In those cave abodes, the High Lords also opened their eyes. After all, the appearance of a High Lord had a completely different meaning. Thus, these clones left the cave abodes and came to the sky above the Saint Spirit Palace. It's the 8th layer. Is he going to break through to the 9th layer? Who knows which heavenly god realm disciple is inside? The High Lord's clones asked curiously. The Dark Shadow Palace's personal disciples had the highest chance of becoming a High Lord. Ordinary heavenly god realm disciples had a 3% chance, and personal disciples had at least a 7% chance. If a High Lord appeared, it would definitely be beneficial to rope him in. I think he's called Lin Fei or something. One of the High Lord's clones said. The High Lords in the sky widened their eyes, suspecting that they had heard wrongly. It can't be. I seem to remember that Lin Fei is the most useless one. He's still a body-tempering cultivator. It's true. Chief Steward by has proof of his identity. He became a High Lord in 100,000 years, and he's a body-tempering cultivator at that. Who says that he's not talented? After a momentary daze, the High Lord's clones revealed strange looks. A body-tempering cultivator who cultivated the sacred cloud dragon traversing body, and not a top-notch heavenly god body cultivation technique of less than 100,000 years, was already a top-notch expert among the High Lords. In the Dark Shadow Palace, he was already a top-notch expert. This was also a major advantage of a body-tempering cultivator's supremacy. To become a High Lord in 100,000 years, he's already a second-level figure among the High Lords. Unfortunately, compared to Duga Ijian and the Elysian Sun, he's still a long way off. They already have the strength of a first-level High Lord. I seem to have heard that the Elysian Sun and Lin Fei aren't on good terms. There's going to be a good show. The circle of High Lords in the Dark Shadow Palace could not hide things. Many people knew about the situation. The 8th layer of the Saint Spirit Palace. Lin Fei was wielding the Sky Splitter Hammer and fighting with a pitch-black strange person for the time it took for an incense stick to burn. The 8th layer was what Lin Fei was interested in. Shadows shot out one after another. Chapter 2877. The Sacred Spirit Palace, where the Dark Shadow Palace was located, suddenly became lively. The clones of the supremacies that were usually unseen appeared in the sky above the Sacred Spirit Palace. It was rare to see more than 20 supremacies in such a short period of time. The appearance of a new supremacy in the Dark Shadow Palace was of great significance. Look, the first elder is here too. The second elder is here too. And the third elder. The 10 great divine realm elders who were in charge of the daily affairs of the Dark Shadow Palace arrived one after another. They had also received the news that the newly ascended supremacy was Lin Fei, whom they had always looked down on. He had become a newly ascended supremacy. Everyone stared at the 8th layer of the Sacred Spirit Palace. He seems to have lasted for a long time. We really underestimated this Lin Fei. He broke through in 100,000 years. Even if he broke through, he would at most have the strength of a Stage 2 supremacy. He's still far from Dugu Ijian and the Elysian Sun. An hour later, a figure emerged from the Sacred Spirit Palace. He was dressed in black. A powerful supremacy aura exuded from his body. He's out. It really is Lin Fei. Wrong. It's Supremacy Lin Fei now. When the figure appeared, everyone knew that the personal disciple of great venerable Shaker Tian had really succeeded in breaking through, and had even lasted for an hour at the 8th layer of the Sacred Spirit Palace. This potential far surpassed 2/3 of the newly ascended supremacies. Every time someone broke through from the 7th layer of the Sacred Spirit Palace to the 8th layer of the Sacred Spirit Palace, they would subconsciously fight the opponent at the 8th layer. Every time, most of them would be defeated within a few breaths and teleported out. Lin Fei's performance had completely exceeded everyone's expectations. An hour. Back then, only the Dugu Ijian, Saint Sun, and the others were able to achieve such a standard. And now, Lin Fei had appeared as well. This was truly surprising. Congratulations, fellow Taoist Lin Fei, for becoming a new supremacy. Congratulations, congratulations! Our Dark Shadow Palace has a new supremacy. A heavenly god elder immediately came up to congratulate him. The avatars of the supremacies also came up to congratulate him. Even the avatars of the supremacies who looked down on Lin Fei previously also came up to congratulate him politely. Lin Fei returned their greetings in a very humble and courteous manner. This was also the first time the heavenly deity disciples saw Lin Fei, this personal disciple of the Ascendant Empyrean. Back then, this senior brother Lin Fei had stolen the limelight from Dugu Ijian and many others. Now that he had broken through, he would immediately have the strength of a second stage supremacy. His talent wasn't that bad. Once he grasped the powerful body-tempering saint spirit secret technique, his strength would increase by another level. The gap in strength between supremacies could be very big or very small. High Lord, I was wrong just now. Deacon Li came forward to admit his mistake. Chief Steward Bai brought Chief Steward Li, who had committed the crime, to the front of Lin Fei cautiously. His previous arrogance was now gone. High Lord, I deserve to die. I was blinded by greed. I was wrong. Chief Steward Li slapped himself with great force. Pa, 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 pa. His face was swollen like a pig's head. The heavenly god elders and the avatars of the supremacies who came up to congratulate him were all smiling. Only a few heavenly god elders had anger on their faces, as if they hated them for not doing their job properly. Lin Fei looked on with a smile and didn't stop them. It's too late. Not good. Chief Steward Bai's heart sank as he shouted at Chief Steward Li. The supremacy has already said it. Hurry up. If you do something wrong, you should obediently accept your punishment. Yes, I was wrong. I wouldn't dare to mess around here. Chief Steward Li continued to slap with all his strength. Blood flowed from the corner of his mouth as he blamed himself for all the mistakes. Chief Steward Bai lowered his head and said, Lord Supremacy, I will definitely handle this matter properly. Something like this will never happen again. From everyone's point of view, Chief Steward Bai lowered his head and admitted his mistake. However, from Lin Fei's point of view, Chief Steward Bai was avoiding the important and dwelling on the trivial. From the beginning to the end, he didn't say anything at all. It was obvious that he didn't take it seriously. Lin Fei wasn't afraid of anything. Moreover, after returning and receiving instructions from his master, he wasn't worried that anything would happen. No matter how big the commotion was, his master would come out to support it. Hee. Lin Fei chuckled. You're quite courageous. If I hadn't advanced to the supremacy realm, would you have arrested me? Don't tell me you didn't have any thoughts. Chief Steward Bai lowered his stance, but he didn't put Lin Fei in his eyes. Whether it was influence or other aspects, he couldn't compare to those few. Lord Supremacy, you've misunderstood. Even if you gave me 100 guts, I wouldn't dare. Chief Steward Bai said repeatedly. At this time, a heavenly god elder came up and said, Supremacy Lin, it's better for us to handle this kind of matter. For this kind of situation, we'll definitely punish him severely and give you a satisfactory explanation. Yes, leave this matter to us. With a heavenly god elder stepping forward, several heavenly god elders immediately stepped forward with smiles on their faces. It seemed like they were giving face to Lin Fei, but in reality, they weren't giving face at all. Instead, they were siding with Chief Steward Bai. Chief Steward Bai also revealed a hint of smugness. Is that so? The corner of Lin Fei's mouth curled up. As a member of the Dark Shadow Palace, to threaten a disciple of the Dark Shadow Palace and collect benefits, in my opinion, this kind of person deserves to die. Even if he died 100 times, it wouldn't be a pity. If you guys aren't going to handle it, I'll do it. Leaving him alive is a disaster. Don't. Lin Fei flicked his finger, and a strong wind swept past. Chief Steward Li immediately turned into a pile of minced meat. He couldn't be more dead. A mere steward wasn't qualified to cultivate the clone technique. Chief Steward Bai's eyes widened. You. How could you kill him? You're too much. In the Dark Shadow Palace, the life and death of a steward had to be approved by the disciplinary hall. Otherwise, no one had the right to make the decision. The heavenly god elders and the High Lord's clones who were full of smiles froze slightly. All sorts of thoughts ran through their minds. He's just a steward. So what if he's killed? Lin Fei flicked his finger. And you can't tell right from wrong. I think you can accompany him on his journey. Whoosh! A gust of wind swept past. Elder, save me! Chief Steward Bai also turned into a pile of minced meat. A faint smell of blood permeated the air. Everyone, don't tell me you don't know whether this kind of person should be killed or not. Lin Fei's cold gaze swept across the crowd, especially the heavenly god elders. All of them broke out in cold sweat and didn't dare to look him in the eye. They didn't think that Lin Fei would really dare to kill someone. He killed two at once. The former was easy to deal with, but the latter was Chief Steward Bai. He was an Elysian Sun's man. He's too reckless. Of all the people he could offend, why did he offend the Elysian Sun? Could it be that Lin Fei did it on purpose? That should be the case. I heard that the Elysian Sun had looked for trouble with Lin Fei before. The High Lord's clones all had different expressions. Everyone knew that Lin Fei and the Elysian Sun were going to clash. Maybe the Elysian Sun will be here soon. Chapter 2878. Brother Dugu, I didn't expect you to come as well. In the void above the Holy Spirit Palace, Dugu Ijian stood with his hands clasped behind his back. His face was delicate and pretty, but just by standing there, an invisible sword intent filled the surroundings, forming a terrifying sword intent domain. With just a thought, the domain could become big or small. Not to mention anything else, if an ordinary early-stage supremacy were to approach the sword intent domain, there would be no need for supremacy Dugu Ijin to act. The boundless sword intent domain would be able to severely injure the other party. This was the terrifying power of a third stage supremacy. At this moment, standing not far away, was a tall and sturdy young man. His body was filled with wild and explosive power, like a peerless general with indescribable might. I came to take a look. Paragon Dugu Ijian said calmly, that person's temper is still as bad as ever. Back then, he became a disciple of the great supremacy and became a supremacy in 100,000 years. His talent is not bad. Unfortunately, he became a supremacy a little too late. He just had to face the Elysian Sun. The young man was the overlord of the past. He had become the disciple of the giant eye supremacy and was now a supremacy. Dugu Ijian suddenly looked into the distance and revealed a smile. Elysian, son of heaven, is here! Far away in the library, an old man lazily opened his eyes. He grabbed at the air and took out a wine gourd. Then he gulped down wine, squinting his eyes. Good lad, you're ready to make a big commotion now that you've arrived? The old man drank a few mouthfuls of wine. The Elysian son of heaven has also come. This is going to be interesting. The old man narrowed his eyes. I just don't know if this kid has the ability to fight against a peak third-order Elysian son of heaven with the strength of a second-order High Lord. Elysian son of heaven is here. In the distance, a Buddhist light appeared. It was colorful, like a rainbow after the rain. The Buddhist light grew bigger and more obvious. At the same time, a huge phantom appeared. This is interesting. With the death of Chief Steward Bai and the arrival of the Sacred Son of Heaven, everyone knew that something big was about to happen. The Elysian Son of Heaven's Buddhist arts are getting more and more exquisite. Even from a distance, he was able to make people fall for his tricks unknowingly. His strength is comparable to Duguijian's. It's very likely that he will become a great sovereign lord in the future. Lin Fei narrowed his eyes slightly, and the seven-colored Buddhist light in the distance surged over like seawater. Taking a closer look, there were actually bubbles in the depths of the Buddhist light. Each bubble had an Elysian son of heaven sitting in it, chanting in Sanskrit, looking divine and noble. Endless Sanskrit sounds emerged. Lin Fei's disturbance in the sea. Before the person arrived, the dismounted horse's prestige had already arrived. Isolate the outside world. Lin Fei couldn't be bothered with him and asked the system to block it. The Sanskrit sounds continued. The shielding effect was surprisingly good. Regardless of whether it was an expert of the illusory school or someone else, it was directly shielded. Lin Fei was completely fine. Sacred Son of Heaven, your Sanskrit sounds aren't powerful enough. I don't feel anything at all. Is it because your Dharma isn't profound enough? The surrounding heavenly god elders and high lord clones had long since moved away. The Sanskrit chants of the Elysian Son of Heaven were not easy to endure. He actually blocked it. It can't be, right? Could it be that Lin Fei has also cultivated a soul secret technique? This is too easy. Everyone knew how powerful the Sanskrit chant of the Elysian Son of Heaven was. Its might was definitely top-notch. Most people didn't like to listen to the Sanskrit chants of the Elysian Son of Heaven. If they were careless, they would fall for it and be controlled, becoming one of the puppets. They originally wanted to see Lin Fei suffer a setback, but at this moment, all of them shut their mouths. This Lin Fei was truly quite capable. After not seeing each other for 100,000 years, Brother Lin Fei is still as straightforward as ever. The Elysian Son of Heaven's pure and holy aura brought along a seven-colored stream of light as he appeared in the sky above the sacred spirit palace. The gentle and holy aura shone like sunlight, landing on the heavenly god disciples below. Their gazes all changed. I've always been straightforward, but you, on the other hand, look more and more like a charlatan. Even your words carry Sanskrit sounds. Are you trying to bewitch everyone? Lin Fei's voice was loud and clear, shattering everyone's thoughts. The heavenly god, disciples below, recovered from their daze one by one. They didn't know what to do. This was a conflict. Charlatan? Everyone wanted to laugh. This Lin Fei was too good at talking. In the dark shadow palace, no one dared to call the Elysian Son of Heaven a charlatan. Although he did look like a charlatan now, that was also because of his cultivation technique. His pure and holy aura had also become effeminate, making people feel very uncomfortable. However, Lin Fei was the first person who dared to call the Elysian Son of Heaven a charlatan in public. The Elysian Son maintained a friendly smile, and there was not a trace of anger on his face. Those who didn't know him would think that he was a good-tempered person. Everyone knew that the Elysian Son of Heaven had a bad temper. I originally wanted to congratulate you. After all, we came in together. Everyone is happy that you can become a supremacy, but you shouldn't have killed people. The Elysian Son said with a regretful expression. Lin Fei said nonchalantly, Why? Is Chief by your man? Then you really have to thank me properly. If not for me, I don't know how much trouble your subordinates would have caused for you. Lin Fei, I forgot to tell you that I'm now the Vice Hall Master of the Disciplinary Hall. You've killed Chief Steward Bai and Chief Steward Li. No matter what the reason is, you have to come with me to the Disciplinary Hall. The Elysian Heavenly Son suddenly yelled, Come with me now! Whoosh! A large hand filled with seven-colored Buddhist light reached out to grab Lin Fei. The surrounding void was quickly sealed. This is the Elysian Son of Heaven's great cage. The sacred soul level 9 killing technique is specially used to suppress people. The old man in the library gulped down wine. This Elysian Son of Heaven really knows how to talk. He immediately put a big hat on Lin Fei. The great cage mystic technique is getting more and more powerful. The old man narrowed his eyes. I just don't know if that silly Lin Fei will be able to block it. That's right, that fellow seems to have cultivated the top-notch dark clone technique back then. I wonder how it is now. Just thinking about it makes me look forward to it. I'm a High Lord. What can you do about it if I kill 2 ungrateful stewards? Lin Fei snorted coldly and blasted out a palm. Soul-severing palm. It was the same sacred soul, level 9 killing technique. Its power had also reached the 2nd level. The 2 extremely powerful sacred soul killing techniques clashed. The void that was originally sealed in the surroundings was pushed forward. The 2 palms collided heavily, setting off a terrifying wave that swept in all directions. The surrounding High Lord's clones all released their Emperor intent and sealed the power of the wave. The first time they fought, they were evenly matched. Elysian Son of Heaven, I've long heard that you're powerful in Yunhai, but it seems like you're not that powerful. Lin Fei shook his head and said with a disappointed look, If you don't show me what you're capable of, I guess you'll have wasted your efforts. The Elysian Son of Heaven was still as calm as ever. You've also improved. I thought that you were still as weak as before. The Elysian Son of Heaven suddenly stretched out his hand. A dream come true. He stretched out his hand and pointed at Lin Fei. So powerful. It's another sacred soul, level 9 killing technique. Chapter 2879. The huge bubble instantly trapped Lin Fei. There was no trace of the bubble, and it appeared out of nowhere. Another level 9 sacred soul killer move. Dream nothing. This move is so terrifying. Rumor has it that this level 9 sacred soul killer move is related to the space sect. It's the hardest to defend against. I wonder if Lin Fei can break it. Yeah, it's really hard to defend against this move. The Elysian Son had a smile on his face. Lin Fei, this level 9 sacred soul killer move is my own creation. You're welcome to comment on it. The colorful light flowed continuously, and the huge bubble began to shrink. I forgot to tell you that this move of mine will seal you. However, it's only your physical body. It won't be a problem. The Elysian Son revealed a victorious smile. He would definitely return the favor for losing to Lin Fei back then. Dream, nothing was only one of the level 9 sacred soul killer moves that the Elysian Son had mastered. However, its power was terrifying. Is that so? Lin Fei began to throw punches. Each of his punches created a black gust of wind that swept across the colorful bubble. The terrifying force landed on the colorful bubble, but it only shook slightly. There wasn't much change. Not bad. After a few punches, the colorful bubble did not budge and began to shrink. The space for movement was getting smaller and smaller. It's useless. You won't be able to break this move. The Elysian Son is getting more and more annoying. In the void, the Overlord said unhappily. Back then, Lin Fei suppressed him. I didn't expect that he would suffer a loss this time. Once you're trapped, it's not that easy to break out of a dream is nothing. The Overlord was very familiar with this move. It wasn't easy to break unless he was prepared in advance. If Lin Fei can't break this move, it'll be really disappointing. He'll have to stop at level 2 supremacy. Dugu Yijian's face was calm and expressionless. If you're defeated by the Elysian Son, I'll be too disappointed in you. Dugu Yijian had a deep impression of Lin Fei, the guy who had suppressed him in the past. He was very happy that the other party had become a supremacy. In the beginning, Dugu Yijian had regarded Lin Fei as an opponent. Later on, Lin Fei's performance had been disappointing. Gradually, he had forgotten about Lin Fei. Eldest senior brother, junior brother seems to be in trouble. That Elysian Son of Heaven is really shameless. He clearly knows that junior brother has only mastered a few Holy Spirit level 9 body, refining secret techniques. But he still chose to use this. He's too much of a bully. Second senior brother Yu Shi also came. Of course, it was his clone. Let's continue watching. Eldest senior brother Chongyang also frowned slightly. Our junior brother shouldn't be that weak. I think so too. The Elysian Son of Heaven is very powerful. Junior brother became a supremacy in less than 100,000 years. Much faster than us. Third senior brother Tian Ing also said. Even Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker's junior martial brother was here. Naturally, they would not appear in the sky above the Holy Spirit Palace. Instead, they would watch from the void. Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker and the middle-aged scholar were sitting by the lake. The battle between the Holy Spirit Palace's Elysian Son of Holy Spirit Palace and Lin Fei appeared before their eyes. Heaven Shaker, your junior brother doesn't seem to be able to hold on, the middle-aged scholar said with a smile while drinking tea. You didn't teach him a powerful killing technique of the Holy Spirit Level 9 body, refining secret technique. You should know that this move of the Elysian Son of Heaven is a combination of several styles. It can be considered a top killing technique of the Holy Spirit Level 9 body, refining secret technique. Grand Monarch Heaven Shaker didn't show any anxiety on his face. Instead, he looked relaxed. What's the rush? He must have his reasons for daring to kill the steward. As his master, all I need to do is watch. Ha ha ha, you're really optimistic. Lin Fei attacked over 100 times. The giant rainbow bubble showed no signs of bursting. He also cast the sealing soul severing palm 7 or 8 times, but he couldn't shake the giant rainbow bubble. The space became smaller and smaller, and the power he cast was also suppressed. Stop struggling. You can't get out. Even if you use the sealing soul severing palm, it won't work. Elysian Son of Heaven said, I fused many styles into this move. It's not as easy to break as you think. You're doomed to fail. Lin Fei couldn't help but admit that Elysian Son of Heaven's move was very powerful. The giant rainbow bubble walked the path of toughness. It did indeed fuse many styles into it. It was a mess, but it was perfectly fused together, and its power was infinitely amplified. Compared to the previous move, Great Prison Cage, this move was much more powerful. Elysian Son of Heaven's reputation in the Saint Spirit domain was indeed outstanding. If he encountered a body refining supremacy who didn't have any powerful moves, he would definitely suffer today. It's time for me to show off my body refining secret technique. Ever since Proud Heaven broke through to the 8th level, Lin Fei rarely used his body refining secret technique. In terms of pure strength, he was able to suppress many supremacy experts. Those body refining secret technique were rarely used. Elysian Son of Heaven, your move is indeed powerful. However, if you want to trap me, it's still far from enough. Lin Fei laughed. You have a powerful Saint Spirit secret technique, but do you really think I don't? Thunderclap Leap. This move came along with Proud Heaven's 4th level. It was very powerful, and it could also be used to escape. Lin Fei directly transformed into a bolt of lightning. With a dazzling light, a crack appeared in the giant rainbow bubble that even the fist technique couldn't break. He rushed out and appeared not far away. As soon as the thunderclap leap was unleashed, everyone was shocked. What move was that just now? I actually don't recognize it. What a good secret technique. It actually easily broke through Elysian Son of Heaven's secret technique. It seems to contain the space sect. The Supremacy's clone's expression began to change. This move was very profound. Everyone recalled and felt that this move was extraordinary. Most importantly, it was a body-refining secret technique. What a powerful kid. This move contains the space sect's secret technique, and with such domineering strength it tore a crack. Could it be a self-created move? The eyes of the old man in the library lit up, and he suddenly became spirited. No, he's still young. Logically speaking, it shouldn't be possible. That move just now can not only be used as an escape technique, but it also seems to be an offensive move. It has the same effect as the giant rainbow bubble. The more the old man watched, the happier he became. I thought it would be a one-sided fight, but now it seems that the kid can tie with just this move. Hantian, your disciple is amazing. When did you learn such a move? The middle-aged scholar's interest was piqued. Great Venerable Hantian revealed a look of shock. This kid really hid his strength well. He can even master such a move. No way, you didn't teach him that? The middle-aged scholar was shocked, and his eyes looked as if he had seen a ghost. You really don't believe me. I really didn't teach him that move just now. You also know that although I'm a great venerable, I only have a few powerful Holy Spirit body tempering, killing moves. They can't compare to yours. Great Venerable Hantian shook his head. Don't tell me. He created it himself. Lin Fei rushed out of the library with a thunderclap leap. Elysian son of heaven, you're too full of yourself. Look, I'm out now. I forgot to tell you that the move just now was also created by me. Alas, it's my fault for being so smart. Lin Fei said with a serious expression. Chapter 2880. Self-created. The Elysian son was very proud of his talent. In less than 100,000 years, he had created several powerful sacred spirit secret arts. During this period, he had also improved several sacred spirit secret arts. That a dream is nothing was not an ordinary saint spirit imprisonment secret technique. Lin Fei had actually escaped from it so easily, and even boasted that he had created it himself. This had greatly provoked the Elysian son of heaven. After failing to take down Lin Fei twice in a row, the Elysian son of heaven was in a bad mood. He felt very sullen. Could this guy really create it himself? I wonder how many times you can use it. The Elysian sun pointed in Lin Fei's direction. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Huge rainbow-colored bubbles appeared, each sealing Lin Fei. In an instant, more than a dozen rainbow-colored bubbles appeared. This was not the scariest thing. It was another power of the rainbow-colored bubbles. Self-destruction. Once formed, it would immediately explode. The sacred spirit palace was protected by a huge array formation. No matter how powerful it was, it could not shake the void. But for others, this scene was absolutely shocking. Boom, boom, boom. The explosion of each seven-colored bubble produced a tremendous amount of power. The aftershock was already so great, not to mention the center. Look, Lin Fei avoided one. Another one was avoided. That's too fast. 3, 4, 7-colored bubbles exploded one after another, and that region also became a terrifyingly dangerous region. It was truly terrifying, and those heavenly deity disciples all sucked in a cold breath of air. Not enough, still not enough. More. Lin Fei moved like lightning, constantly moving. It was impossible to capture his traces. The rainbow-colored bubbles were fast, but Lin Fei was even faster, constantly moving towards the Elysian sun. The distance between them was getting shorter and shorter, and the Elysian sun could not trap Lin Fei. The powerful killer move was useless at this time. Supremacy Lin Fei, is he going to make a move? A sacred spirit, secret art killer move that had never been seen before, and it was even from the physique cultivation sect. With just this move, there might not be many second-stage supremacy powerhouses who could defeat Supremacy Lin Fei. If they were not careful, they might even be seriously injured. Thunder leap. Voila! A dazzling bolt of lightning flashed in front of the Elysian son of heaven. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The 7-colored Buddhist light in front of him collapsed. The Elysian son's body trembled slightly, his eyes filled with disbelief. He had actually failed to block his opponent's killer move. Elysian son, what do you think of my move? Not far away, Lin Fei held a piece of cloth in his hand and waved it lightly. It's called Thunderclap. It can kill all enemies. This was also the first time everyone had heard of this name. Previously, they were amazed by the speed of this move. However, when they saw that the Elysian heavenly sons were unable to defend against this move, their faces turned ugly. That's the power of a 9th-level Saint Spirit secret technique. Too scary. I didn't even see it clearly. The Elysian Son of Heaven seems to be injured. They did not expect Lin Fei to be able to injure the Elysian Son of Heaven, even if it was a small injury. I wonder if the Elysian Son of Heaven still wants to capture me. Lin Fei smiled. The Elysian Son already knew that it would be difficult to capture Lin Fei today unless he used his trump card. However, it would be inappropriate for him to continue attacking. Initially, he planned to capture Lin Fei in one move. However, the current situation, the Elysian Son of Heaven was very puzzled. This had indirectly increased Lin Fei's influence. Not only did he fail to capture Lin Fei, he even suffered a setback. A single thunderclap was enough to make the Elysian Son feel pressured. He could not find a good way to deal with it in a short period of time. If he allowed it to continue, he would definitely not be able to withstand this attack. The moment he was struck by the thunderclap, the Elysian Son could feel a large amount of vitality in his body being consumed. He was even more shocked. This lethality was too terrifying. This was the first time in the history of the Elysian Son of Heaven. He had seen the most powerful Holy Spirit secret art killer move. If this kind of depletion method was used for a long time, the loss would be great. If he was not careful, he might even die. Did I ever capture you? The Elysian Son of Heaven said seriously. I guess someone was joking with you. Ha ha ha. Joking? Everyone was stunned. Was the Elysian Son of Heaven going to give up? Dugu Yijian revealed a trace of a smile. Interesting, really interesting. To be able to create a body cultivation killer move like Thunderclap, its power is indeed extraordinary. It has both speed and power. It is really hard to defend against. Not far away, the tyrant also had a solemn expression. The Elysian Son of Heaven also has times where he is at a disadvantage. If I were to encounter Lin Fei's thunderclap, I don't know how to defend against it. Once any Holy Spirit secret art killer move was used, everyone had to think of how to deal with it. For example, now, among the 10 supremacies, at least 8 were interested in the thunderclap. This secret art killer move was good. The Elysian Son of Heaven pretended to be confused and retreated. After exchanging blows several times, 2 Holy Spirit level 9 secret art killer moves could not defeat Lin Fei. If he made another move, he would lose face. Lin Fei won. This personal disciple who had kept a low profile for 100,000 years finally had his own strength to tell everyone that there were experts under great venerable Heaven Shaker. Junior brother, good job. When Ren Zhengong was the first to fly out, his face full of smiles. He was in a good mood. That was amazing. Supremacy Sky Shadow also came and patted Lin Fei's shoulder. You are amazing to be able to create such a killer move. It is really good news for the body cultivation style. The body cultivation style had powerful killer moves, but they were few in number. They were not as good as those who cultivated Emperor Intent. Therefore, once Lin Fei's thunderclap was used, it was no less than a treasure to the supremacies of the body cultivation style. Lin Fei had not used the thunderclap for a long time. Now that he used it again, it was extremely powerful and could plunder vitality. Unfortunately, the Elysian Son retreated too quickly and did not have time to use it a few more times. That guy was lucky. The 4 personal disciples of Great Venerable Heaven Shaker were all here. Immediately, someone came to congratulate them again. Some of the supremacies clones greeted them and left. They needed to digest today's news. Lin Fei's performance was too shocking. With such a new supremacy in the Dark Shadow Palace, who knew if the situation would change immediately? That thunderclap was unforgettable. Soon, the supremacy's clones and the heavenly god elders left one by one. Junior brother, You have made us proud this time. When Ren Zhengong said happily, "We are under great venerable Heaven Shaker. Who are we afraid of? Junior brother, the Elysian sun, is going to be depressed for a long time." Eldest senior brother, Chongyang, frowned slightly. "Junior brother, you have to put away your secret killer move. I'm afraid that some people will think about it." "Of course. There is nothing to be afraid of in the Dark Shadow Palace. The power of your thunderclap is quite terrifying outside." Lin Fei nodded. "I will. Kid, let's talk." Chapter 2881. Everything happened too fast. What happened? Where's junior brother Lin Fei? It seems like a hand appeared just now, and then an old man took away junior brother. It was only after Lin Fei disappeared that Supremacy Chongyang and the others came to their senses. Their faces turned ugly. Who would be so audacious as to take away their junior brother in the City of Shadows? Eldest senior brother, I think I remember now. That person was the old man from the library. When Ran Jingong suddenly said with a smile of disbelief, "No way, that martial arts fanatic." Chongyang's supremacy was shocked. "Are you sure you didn't see wrongly?" "Absolutely not. That person should be the old man from the library. I think he's called Wind Demon Supremacy. He's best at speed. In the entire Dark Shadow Palace, his speed is among the top 3. Yes. I think he's Wind Demon Supremacy. I heard that he had the potential to break through to the Grand Supremacy realm. He was an influential figure in the same era as our master. But something happened, and he's been stuck at the peak of the 3rd stage Supremacy. At least junior brother won't be in trouble." Lin Fei wanted to fight back when the old man stretched out his hand, but he didn't sense any dangerous aura. Besides, he was in the City of Shadows and the Sacred Spirit Palace. Who would dare to kidnap someone? Lin Fei allowed the old man to take him away. "Isn't this outside the library?" In an instant, Lin Fei remembered where he was. Not bad. You've got guts. Aren't you afraid that it's an enemy?" The old man picked up the wine gourd and gulped it down. He looked at Lin Fei with interest. "Then you'll be dead. Greetings, Senior. Who dares to attack in the Dark Shadow Palace? Senior won't hurt me." The old man was already an expert of the Supremacy realm when Lin Fei first came. Now that he saw him again, he could still sense the terrifying aura. Although he hid it well, it was still very obvious to Lin Fei, who cultivated a top-notch cultivation method. Under normal circumstances, an ordinary supremacy wouldn't give Lin Fei such a dangerous aura. At the very least, this old man's strength was at least at the 3rd stage of the Supremacy stage, which meant that he was at the peak of the 1st stage of the Supremacy stage. If he used his treasures, he could erupt with the strength of a great supremacy. This was already a very powerful strength. 100,000 years ago, this old man thought that you were biting off more than you could chew. 100,000 years later, your performance is pretty good. You've reached the 8th layer of the sacred cloud dragon traversing body, the 2nd layer of the sealing soul severing palm, and you've even created your own killer move, the thunderclap leap. You're really not bad. For a moment, Lin Fei really couldn't figure out what the other party wanted to do. "Senior, you flatter me. Compared to Dugu Yijian and the Sacred Son of Heaven, my ability is still far from that," Lin Fei said modestly. The old man hummed. "You don't need to be so humble. Just based on your thunderclap leap, a pure body tempering sacred spirit killer move, it can attack and retreat at will. It's very commendable. There's even a special style in it. It can be considered a great accomplishment killer move." Thunderclap Leap was only one of the killer moves of the Proud Heaven Stage 5. Lin Fei didn't think much of it, but now that he heard it, it seemed to be very impressive. He couldn't help but rejoice. If he had used the last few moves, it probably wouldn't be like this. "Master, this guy's eyesight is really sharp. He saw most of it." The little fiend's voice came. "Looks like the Sacred Spirit Domain's Sacred Spirit Body Tempering Killer move isn't that brilliant. Fortunately, Master only used the fifth move. If the last few moves were used, Master might be in trouble. Lin Fei actually hadn't thought about this. Thunderclap Leap was a move that encompassed both the School of Space and the School of Speed. Within a certain range, it could easily kill someone without leaving any traces. The reason why Elysian Son of Heaven couldn't dodge it was because he was within Lin Fei's range. With Proud Heaven's additional attributes, when Thunderclap Leap was used, its power was naturally unimaginable. As long as Lin Fei wanted to kill someone, once he used Thunderclap Leap, no one would be able to block it, unless the other party could think of a move to counter it. But that would also require a certain amount of time. Just now, when I saw you fighting with Elysian Son of Heaven, you seemed to be very adept at using your strength. The old man drank a mouthful of wine. This old man has two hobbies in life. The first is drinking wine. Everywhere in the sacred spirit domain, inside and outside, even in the boundless world, as long as there's good wine, I would go and taste it. Traveling the world, drinking the best wine in the world, it's great. My other hobby is to spar with others, especially when I encounter some powerful moves. This old man wants to experience them. Do you know, this old man hasn't encountered a move that could light up my eyes in 200,000 years? Your Thunderclap Leap is very good. I want to give it a try. Lin Fei blinked. That's possible. The old man blinked his eyes. Why not? This old man really likes your Thunderclap Leap, so you can use it boldly. After all, there are very few body-tempering, Holy Spirit-killing moves that can interest this old man. Of course, you won't do it for nothing. As long as this old man is happy, it's not impossible for you to enter the second floor of the library pavilion. The second floor of the library pavilion was very tempting to Lin Fei. The last time he went in, Lin Fei had the right to enter the first floor. The second floor had a formation restriction. One could not enter without a pass, and the second floor had some good stuff. To Lin Fei, as long as he went up, the rewards would definitely be unimaginable. Where else could he find such a good thing? Lin Fei, who was about to reject, immediately changed his mind. Sure, no problem. In his heart, Lin Fei also wanted to test the depth of the other party's strength. Thunderclap, Leap without a sound. The Saint Spirit killing move flashed over. Kid, you're a bit shameless. The old man stared unhappily, and his figure began to fade. With a whoosh, the faint shadow broke apart, and the old man's figure appeared in his original position. No, let's do it again. Lin Fei's move just now, he used his full strength, and the power was naturally extraordinary. Ordinary people did not have time to prepare. Any offensive killing move, when used, must be accumulated. Lin Fei's body-tempering Saint Spirit killing move can be directly used, does not need time to prepare. This old man is stronger than I thought. Lin Fei clearly felt that when his Thunderclap Leap attacked the other party, there was an invisible force in front of him, forming a certain resistance. Just that little resistance. Lin Fei's Thunderclap Leap failed and did not exert the power it should have. Voila! Lin Fei made his move again, this time even faster than before. The old man also revealed a strong fighting spirit, and only that shadow was left in his eyes. He opened his 5 fingers and flicked towards the void, each time landing in a position. Chapter 2882. So that's how it is. The old man drank a mouthful of wine and revealed a proud expression. Lin Fei's first time using Thunder Leap failed. He actually didn't manage to hit his opponent. This was a rather inconceivable thing. Don't think that it happened in an instant. Many people couldn't do it, but this old man in the library did it twice. Anyone who saw it would be shocked. Young man, your Thunder Leap is indeed not bad, but it's a bit slow. The old man started to comment. It's still very powerful. Normal people really can't handle it. It was also Lin Fei's first time using Thunder Leap to fail. Master, this guy's strength is extremely strong. He's even stronger than a High Lord. I suspect he's a great High Lord. Little Evil Demon suddenly said, "The Dark Shadow Palace is really full of hidden dragons and crouching tigers. However, if Master explodes with the true strength of proud Heaven Realm level 8, he definitely won't be able to handle it so easily. All right, here's your pass. You can go to the second floor of the library. You'll be allowed to pick a technique. You only have an hour at most." A token was thrown over. "Thank you, Senior. What are you thanking me for? Hurry up and get in." The old man walked towards the chair and leaned on it, squinting his eyes. "Your thunderclap leap can be more perfect. Right now there are still some flaws. For example, speed. Once you meet someone faster than you, your move will fail, and you will be exposed under the opponent's eyes. It's the same as sending yourself to his doorstep." Lin Fei also understood. Thunder Leap was a technique that excelled in speed. It also had a certain limit. The reason why the old man was able to break it and easily block his attack was because his speed was faster than his. The opponent was able to break his technique. If I use my full strength, the power of Thunder Leap should be able to pose a certain threat. To defeat this old man, I'll probably have to use the 6th technique, or even the 7th technique. Thoughts flashed through Lin Fei's mind. His face revealed an expression of acceptance. Only then did he walk into the library. How did this kid create it? The old man looked at Lin Fei's back as he entered and could not help but sigh. This kind of move is really the ultimate killing move in terms of speed. If he really created it himself, then this guy's potential is limitless. If he comes up with a few more moves, even Elysian Sun, Duga Ijian, and the others will not be able to handle it. Although the old man had blocked the thunderclap leap, it was only because of his advantage in speed. He secretly thought about it and did not pay attention to Lin Fei. On the second floor of the library, compared to the first floor, the space here was smaller. Scan and copy everything. Lin Fei pretended to read the cultivation methods on the bookshelf. After scanning and copying these cultivation methods, my body refinement killer moves will become even more perfect. Not bad, he chose the shadow doppelganger. An hour later, Lin Fei came out with a smile on his face. The old man casually glanced at it and said, "Cultivate well." Then he closed his eyes and went to sleep. Soon, the sound of snoring could be heard. Lin Fei secretly heaved a sigh of relief. He was really worried that the scanning and copying would be discovered. Then it would be hard to explain, even though he was very confident in the system. "Junior brother Lin Fei, you finally came out. We were so worried." Lin Fei saw senior brother Chongyang and the others as soon as he came out. Wenren Jingong was the first to come up. Seeing that Lin Fei was fine, he secretly looked inside as if he was worried that some monster would come out. I'm fine. Senior brother Chongyang smiled. "It's good that you're fine. Let's go back first. This is not the place to talk. That old man is called Wind Demon. In terms of speed in the Dark Shadow Palace, he is ranked top 3. In senior brother Chongyang's cave abode, Lin Fei heard about the old man's background. It seemed that the old man had a powerful background, especially when he had refined a treasure before. He had a deep understanding of the Tao of speed, which extended to several branches. His strength was terrifying. In the Dark Shadow Palace, he was known as an invisible, great supremacy. You're really lucky. You used the thunderclap leap and that wind demon became interested. He even let you go to the second level of the library. Just thinking about it makes me jealous. That's right. That old man wind demon is the most unreasonable one. I didn't expect him to give little junior brother such a benefit. It usually costs a lot of contribution points to go to the second level of the library. Lin Fei didn't know whether to laugh or cry at Wind Demon's actions. It seemed that the old man wasn't as unreasonable as he said. He seemed to be quite nice. Little junior brother, now that you've become a supremacy, you'll be able to open a peak on your own. Have you chosen a place? Do you need me to help you? Also, the higher-ups will invite you to take up some positions in the Dark Shadow Palace. I'm really not sure about that. Please explain it to me. Eldest senior brother. Lin Fei didn't know much about these things. After Lin Fei became a supremacy, he became a top-notch expert in the Dark Shadow Palace. He had also become a top-notch expert in the Dark Shadow Palace. He was no longer a personal disciple in the Dark Shadow Palace, but an official supremacy-level figure who enjoyed all kinds of resources. After the battle with the Elysian Sun, Lin Fei's influence grew a lot. He was a supremacy that even the Elysian Sun couldn't take down immediately. He even killed 2 stewards. The Elysian Sun wanted to use the Hall of Torture to suppress him, but he didn't succeed. Soon, Lin Fei had his own mountain and opened up a new cave abode. His status was no longer the same as before. In the past month, the supremacy's clone would visit him and build a relationship. Lin Fei also had a few supremacy friends he could get along with. They were all nearby neighbors. Only supremacies could open a cave abode in this area. The first elder is here. Lin Fei went out to welcome him. Although the other party was only a divine realm elder, his power wasn't low. For supremacies, their main bodies would usually cultivate, and only their clones would take up some positions. As for the great supremacies, they basically didn't take up any positions. Therefore, the matters of the Dark Shadow Palace were basically handled by the Divine Realm Elders. I'm not busy. The first elder had a head of white hair and a smile on his face. In front of this new supremacy, he didn't dare to put on any airs. In particular, the position given by the higher-ups had completely blinded him. Even now, the first elder didn't quite believe it. He didn't understand what the higher-ups were thinking and why they would give such a position to Lin Fei. It's all right. Recently, I've been reading some ancient books in the library and accumulated some experience. Lin Fei arranged for someone to bring tea and said unhurriedly, "You should know that every newly promoted supremacy has to take up some positions in the Dark Shadow Palace. I'm here to inform you that this is your new position in the Dark Shadow Palace." The first elder took out a jade talisman. Chapter 2883. After the first elder delivered the jade talisman, he chatted for a while before taking his leave. Before he left, he invited Lin Fei to be his guest. Lin Fei played with the jade talisman in his hand. Beside it was a piece of identification made of special material. Who made such a lame decision to make me the Deputy Hall Master of the Disciplinary Hall? This position shocked Lin Fei. After returning from senior brother Chongyang's place, Lin Fei had learned that there were a few halls with the most authority in the Dark Shadow Palace. The first one should be the Disciplinary Hall. This Disciplinary Hall was like a sharp sword hanging over the heads of the disciples of the Divine Realm. Anyone would feel great pressure because no one knew when the people from the Disciplinary Hall would come knocking on their door. Under normal circumstances, no one would be willing to offend the members of the Disciplinary Hall. Ever since Elysian Tianzi was promoted to a supremacy, the higher-ups had given him a position as the Deputy Hall Master of the Disciplinary Hall, in charge of a small disciplinary team. And now, Lin Fei had also been appointed as the Deputy Hall Master of the Disciplinary Hall. This was indeed a little surprising. It seemed that this position did not match up at all. Forget it. It's just a Deputy Hall Master of the Disciplinary Hall. It's not like I've never been one before. Lin Fei did not like these things. After joining the Dark Shadow Palace, there were some rules that he had to abide by. Fortunately, these positions did not last long. What? The newly promoted Supremacy Lin Fei is going to be the Deputy Hall Master of the Disciplinary Hall? That can't be. How is that possible? Who arranged this? This is going to be interesting. Supremacy Lin Fei and Supremacy Elysian Tianzi are like fire and water. The arrangement of the new Supremacy Lin Fei's position quickly spread. The news really exceeded everyone's expectations. This position was extraordinarily important. It was definitely going to be a meteoric rise. He actually became the deputy hall master of the disciplinary hall. On a quiet mountain peak, Duguijian was wiping a long sword that gleamed with a cold light. His movements were very gentle, as if he was his own woman, afraid that he would hurt her. Duguijian's movements paused for a moment when he heard his subordinates report. Then he continued to wipe. The Elysian Sun has long regarded the disciplinary hall as his territory. In the future, he will become the hall master of the disciplinary hall. Now that there's an additional Lin Fei, things are getting interesting. Duguijian did not like the Elysian Son of Heaven very much. This fellow liked to scheme against others and was full of schemes. The vice hall master of the disciplinary hall, Honorable Lin Fei, has really reached the heavens in a single bound. As long as he establishes his prestige, who would dare to disrespect Honorable Lin Fei in the future? The higher-ups are preparing to nurture Supremacy Lin Fei, Vice Hall Master of the Disciplinary Hall. That's a very high position. Even the High Lords looked envious. Although the Vice Hall Master of the Punishment Hall was only a Vice Hall Master, he wielded great authority. The reason for that was because the Head Hall Master basically didn't manage the Punishment Hall's affairs, and all of his authority was delegated to others. In the past, the Elysian Son of Heaven was the only one in power. With the addition of Lin Fei, things were completely different. There would definitely be an intense competition. Would Lin Fei suppress the Elysian Son of Heaven, or would the Elysian Son suppress Lin Fei? This was really something to look forward to. In the office of the Elysian Son of Heaven, in a room of the disciplinary hall, the Elysian Son of Heaven had also heard the news. He only frowned slightly, but his emotions didn't change much. Those who were familiar with the Elysian Son of Heaven would know that he was in a bad mood. It was only because he cultivated the Dharma that he exuded an aura that made people have a good impression of him. "Hall Master, they're here." A confidant came in from outside and reported in a low voice. "Let them in." Very soon, a few people entered in a line. They all had a murderous aura around them, and their attire was almost the same. If the people from the disciplinary hall saw them, they would definitely recognize them. These 5 people were all attendants of the disciplinary hall, and all of them had submitted to the Elysian Son of Heaven. Hall Master. The Elysian Son of Heaven was very satisfied with this title. The first Hall Master of the Punishment Hall rarely interfered with matters. Even though there were a few Vice Hall Masters, ever since the arrival of the Sacred Heavens, they had seized the authority in a few moves. The Elysian Son of Heaven was very ambitious. Becoming a great supremacy was only one of the steps. He still had to continue improving his strength to become a great supremacy and become the next Palace Master candidate. The Hall Master of the Punishment Hall was just the first step. "Hall Master, we heard that Lin Fei is coming to fight for power. We will definitely cooperate with Hall Master. The Hall Master belongs to the Lord. Since he dares to come, he should scram with his tail between his legs. Our disciplinary hall only obeys the Lord." These 5 deacons were all here to show their determination. Ever since they pledged their allegiance to the Elysian Son of Heaven, they suppressed all the other deacons. No one dared to go against them. Those who dared to stand out were all banished from the disciplinary hall. If there were no accidents, they would never be able to return. When they heard that the higher-ups had sent a new Vice Hall Master of the Punishment Hall, they were the first to be unhappy. This was the territory of the Elysian Son of Heaven. How could they allow a new supremacy to behave atrociously here? Now, as long as the Elysian Son of Heaven gave the order, they would immediately take action. Their brothers were all on their side, and no one would help the new Vice Hall Master of the Punishment Hall. "You guys have done well. Let's have some fun with Lin Fei. Spread the word that whoever pledges their allegiance to Lin Fei will be the enemy of the Elysian Son of Heaven." Lin Fei was not in a hurry to take up his post after receiving the order. He had received news about the Punishment Hall from his senior brother, and he had a better understanding of the internal situation of the Punishment Hall. The Head Hall Master, the victorious Sun Supremacy, is getting old and is not as domineering as before. His authority has been delegated. Now, 70% of the people in the punishment hall have pledged their allegiance to the Elysian Son of Heaven. Lin Fei kept flipping through the information. Out of the 10 deacons, 5 have pledged their allegiance to the Elysian Son of Heaven. The remaining 5 support the other 3 vice hall masters. However, their days are not that easy, and they have all been pushed out. There were a total of 4 vice hall masters in the punishment hall, and Lin Fei was included. That was 5. In addition, there were 10 deacons, and their authority was not small either. Now, the punishment hall had almost become the Elysian Son of Heaven's word. I really don't know what the higher-ups are thinking. They actually made me the vice hall master of the punishment hall. This is really boring. Lin Fei was not interested in fighting for power. If he had the time, he might as well spend it on comprehending the killing moves of the body-tempering secret technique, so that he could prepare for the fight for the Shadow Throne that would happen soon. This kind of position was filled with intrigue and scheming. It was very boring. Lin Fei planned to drag it out first. When the matter of the Shadow Throne started, it would be fine even if he did not go. However, Lin Fei's idea soon failed. Someone took the initiative to visit. 2 vice hall masters came at the same time, and with the reason of reporting the mission, it was impossible not to meet them. Chapter 2884. Do you think Deputy Hall Master Lin Fei will meet us? A gray-robed, middle-aged man said helplessly. He was Lin Bai, one of the 4 Deputy Hall Masters of the Punishment Hall. He was a first-stage supremacy. I think so. I've had enough of that kind of life. Since the higher-ups have made arrangements, I won't let them go. Since the higher-ups have made arrangements, they must have recognized Hall Master Lin Fei's strength. Another black-robed, middle-aged man said with a strange look in his eyes. Both of them were Deputy Hall Masters of the Punishment Hall. One of them was Lin Bai, and the other was Zhao Wu. They came to Lin Fei's cave abode together. This was the only feasible way for them at the moment. After all, they were living a good life now. In the punishment hall, the Elysian Son's words were the law. They wanted power. If they wanted to regain everything, they had to rely on a strong person. Without a doubt, the newly promoted Supremacy Lin Fei was a good candidate. Therefore they came. Standing outside the cave abode, they felt uneasy. From the information left behind in the early years, they could more or less see that Supremacy Lin Fei was a decisive killer. Come in. After waiting for a while, they heard Lin Fei's voice. The 2 of them walked in together and saw Lin Fei sitting in the courtyard. This was the first time they saw Lin Fei. He was young, but they could feel the dangerous aura. That was their instinctive reaction. I'm Lin Bai from the Punishment Hall. I'm Zhao Wu from the Punishment Hall. The 2 of them introduced themselves as soon as they came up. Although they were both Deputy Hall Masters of the Punishment Hall and had seniority, compared to Lin Fei, they were still a little inferior, because Lin Fei was stronger and had better potential than them. Moreover, he had the support of great Supremacy Han Tian. Putting on airs? That was definitely an act of courting death. Not to mention others. Just the senior brothers of Supremacy Lin Fei. Just by watching them covetously from the side, they would be unable to bear the consequences. After thinking about it, relying on Supremacy Lin Fei might be a good idea. Some time ago, Lin Fei had killed 2 stewards, which had caused quite a commotion. However, in the end, Lin Fei had killed 2 stewards. There was no sound at all. Ordinary supremacies wouldn't be that lucky. I've heard of you guys. Lin Fei smiled. I didn't expect you guys to come knocking on my door. When Lin Bai and Zhao Wu arrived, they had discussed how to answer. We heard that Supreme Lord Lin will be taking office soon. As colleagues, we felt the need to make a trip here. After all, we will be working together in the future. Lin Bai said seriously. Zhao Wu echoed, yeah. Lin Fei was very clear about the purpose of their visit. Supreme Leader Lin, This is the situation of our disciplinary hall. I feel that since you just arrived, you should be able to learn more about it. I'm not too sure, but I can report it to you." Lin Fei listened quietly and did not say anything. Someone came to report. He had to let them report. Although Lin Fei wasn't very interested in the position of Deputy Hall Master of the Punishment Hall, it wouldn't be easy to step down all of a sudden. Therefore, he decided to recruit a few people to work on his behalf in the future. This way, he wouldn't have to worry so much. Lin Fei was actually very satisfied that Lin Bai and Zhao Wu took the initiative to approach him. From the information, whether it was Lin Bai or Zhao Wu, they were people who had their power snatched away by the Elysian Son of Heaven. They were quite capable. Lin Bai and Zhao Wu actually lowered their status by coming to report on the punishment hall situation. However, they didn't care about this. What they cared about was whether they could rely on Lin Fei. A powerful body-tempering sacred secret technique, Thunderclap Leap, was praised by the supremacy of the Dark Shadow Palace. It was a first-class killing move. They had all seen the scene recorded after the incident and thought that they wouldn't be able to block it. The other party merged with the move. The person was the move, and the move was the person. It was extremely powerful and was truly an unstoppable killing move. Because of this, they felt that Lin Fei was completely capable of fighting against the other party. "I feel that I'll have to trouble the two of you to worry about the punishment hall in the future. I'm used to being lazy, so I'm afraid that I won't be able to handle it. However, since I'm the Deputy Hall Master of the Punishment Hall, there must be some changes in the Punishment Hall. Go back and inform them that I'll be taking up the post in 3 days. I hope that they'll be able to come by then." Lin Fei didn't say whether he was going to recruit them or not. However, to Lin Bai and Zhao Wu, the meaning was very clear. This would depend on their performance. The two of them, finally, heaved a sigh of relief. There was no better news than this. "We'll inform them immediately." However, many people in the punishment hall seemed to have received news about the Elysian Son of Heaven. It seems that they won't be allowed to take the opportunity to use Lord Lin. Lin Bai also changed the way he addressed Lin Fei. "It's all right. Just go and inform them." Among the upper echelons of the Dark Shadow Palace, the most important matter at the moment was the Dark Shadow Throne. There were still more than 10 years before the Dark Shadow Throne. Right now, everyone's attention was on the new supremacy and the Elysian Son of Heaven. 3 days later, the first confrontation between the two supremacies came. Everyone wanted to see who would win. "Han Tian, don't tell me you're the one who arranged the position in the punishment hall." The middle-aged scholar said with a smile, as if he was the one who did it. Grand Venerable Han Tian didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "That's what I wanted to ask you. You're also a great supremacy. Don't tell me you did it? Given my disciple's character, he's not suitable to be a vice hall master. How could it be me?" The middle-aged scholar shook his head. "Don't slander me. You know me. I do everything on my own and I never lie. Now, it seems that you didn't arrange this position, and I didn't ask someone to tell him. Then who did it? Could it be the other 3? Your youngest disciple is probably going to have a headache." Both of them were smart people and they realized some things. However, the day before he went to the punishment hall, Lin Fei paid a visit to the chief hall master, Shenyang. Although the chief hall master was no longer in charge of the punishment hall, he still had to be polite. The chief hall master personally received Lin Fei. "Actually, I've been waiting for you," Chief Hall Master Shenyang said with a smile. "Ever since the news spread, everyone has been paying attention to the punishment hall. Chief, I'm just a junior. I didn't expect that Chief Hall Master would think so highly of me. I'm embarrassed." Lin Fei didn't expect that the Chief Hall Master would wait for him. "Supremacy Lin, you're famous now. Your Thunderleap is amazing. Everyone knows the strength of the Elysian Son of Heaven. Although it's just a doppelganger and can't reach the full strength of the real body, it's still at the 3rd stage. You were able to easily block it. In the future, Perhaps the punishment hall will have a new development. Lin Fei more or less heard the chief hall master's dissatisfaction with the Elysian Son of Heaven. Chief Hall Master, I think the Elysian Son has done a good job. Chapter 2885. No one knew what Lin Fei and First Hall Master Shenyang talked about. All they knew was that First Hall Master Shenyang personally escorted Lin Fei out with a smile on his face. The relationship between the two was worth guessing. Chief Hall Master Shenyang rarely took the initiative to send someone out. The First Hall Master Shenyang had relied on his powerful strength to be able to sit in his current position. He was fair and just in handling matters, thus winning the respect of everyone. Even Honorable Divinity Dark Shadow was full of praise for Shenyang. He had personally rejected Shenyang's intention to recuperate and hand over the position of First Hall Master. Now that the Great Hall Master was personally sending Lin Fei out, it was very meaningful. That was because when the Elysian Son of Heaven was the Vice Hall Master of the Punishment Hall, he had also come to pay a visit to Head Hall Master Shenyang. However, he did not receive such preferential treatment. The disparity between the two was obvious. 3 days later, the weather was clear and sunny. The atmosphere in the Punishment Hall was somewhat depressing. As the most special place in the Dark Shadow Palace, very few people would come here. Just the name Punishment Hall alone was enough to make people's faces turn pale. No one wanted to have anything to do with the Punishment Hall. It was a nightmare that they would never be able to forget for the rest of their lives. If they were unlucky, they might even be sent to the battlefield to fight against the demons of the Demon Nation. That was a true death sentence. Lin Bai and Zhao Qing, the two Vice Hall Masters, personally came out to greet them. Behind them were some members of the Punishment Hall. Of the 10 deacons, only 2 had come. Even more members of the Punishment Hall were watching the show. Lin Bai and Vice Hall Master Zhao Wu are really courting death. He could have fawned over anyone, but he chose to fawn over that Lin Fei. I really don't know what he's thinking. Hee, I guarantee that their days will not be easy soon. The Elysian Son is a powerhouse who will become a great supremacy in the future. The position of Great Hall Master is prepared for the Elysian Son. Everyone was looking outside. Not far away in a small palace, a middle-aged man stood by the window, holding a teacup in his hand. From the 3rd floor, he looked down and saw everything. Lin Bai and Zhao Wu, are they at the end of their rope? The middle-aged man's voice was filled with sarcasm. It's best if the clam and the crane fight, and the fisherman benefits. This was Bai Chong, one of the 5 Vice Hall Masters of the Punishment Hall. In the Punishment Hall, his qualifications were second only to the Hall Master of the victorious Sun Hall. If not for that incident, Bai Chong might have become the Hall Master of the Punishment Hall. Brother Lin, do you think Lin Fei will be angry? Zhao Wu looked at the people behind him and said helplessly. Lin Bai revealed a bitter smile. I didn't dare to confirm it either. Originally, I thought that the people below were all quite obedient, but now it seems that I was too optimistic. The Elysian Son of Heaven's methods are indeed powerful. Without any warning, our people have all defected to the other side. What a good trick! Sai, the Elysian Son, is indeed powerful. I wonder how Lin Fei dealt with it. Lin Bai and Zhao Wu sighed bitterly and waited in silence. An hour later, He's here. As soon as he entered the territory of the Punishment Hall, he received the news. How many people have come? 1 person. Yes, just 1 person. He didn't bring anyone with him, and the accompanying elders didn't come either. The talented are really bold. He didn't need anyone and came just like that. This is going to be a good show. In the eyes of the disciples of the Dark Shadow Palace, the Punishment Hall was a forbidden place. When Lin Fei stepped into the Punishment Hall alone, he immediately entered everyone's line of sight. Lin Fei didn't walk very quickly. He looked unhurried as he slowly admired the beautiful scenery around him. It was difficult for others to associate this place with the word forbidden. Along the way, he walked leisurely. Unfortunately, he didn't see a single person. The entire punishment hall seemed to be empty. Is this a kind of silent protest? Lin Fei laughed to himself. It's as if I'm unpopular. How boring. Master, this is what makes it interesting. The little devil interrupted. Beat them up viciously, and they will know how powerful you are. At that time, they will bow down and be as obedient as a puppy. If you tell them to go to the east, they definitely won't dare to go to the west. When Lin Fei appeared in front of Lin Bai and Xiao Wu, their hearts sank. Both of them felt their hearts sink. Why did he come alone? He wasn't accompanied by the elders, nor was he accompanied by his senior brothers. This situation was a little different from what they had imagined. As the personal disciple of great venerable Han Tian, Lin Fei's name alone was enough to intimidate many people. This was also one of the reasons why Lin Bai and Xiao Wu took the initiative to report the situation. Today, they were still hoping to see Lin Fei's senior brothers. With their support, they wouldn't dare to do anything for a period of time. If a few divine realm elders, such as the 10 great divine realm elders, could come, that would be the best. The current situation sent chills down their spines. The difference was too great. The two of them exchanged glances. Since things had come to this, they had to go up and welcome him. They had to show enough face. Everyone, let's welcome him. Lin Bai said to the people behind him, Welcome, welcome. Welcome, Hall Master Lin Fei. Their voices were sparse and weak. Lin Fei strode over and roughly glanced at the people in front of him. It was a little too few. The two of you are a little bad. Lin Bai and Xiao Wu's hearts skipped a beat. They lowered their heads, feeling very embarrassed. But it's okay. I'm here, and your days will definitely be better. Lin Fei's next words immediately brought tears to everyone's eyes. At the very least, they had heard something happy, so their hearts felt warm. I'm here to take office today. Where are the others? Why aren't they here? After hearing these heartwarming words, Lin Fei's face suddenly darkened, and a cold chill swept out. In an instant, the faces of Lin Bai, Xiao Wu, and the others all turned pale. They seemed to have fallen into a turbulent sea, swaying left and right, about to be drowned by the huge waves at any time. They had heard of how powerful Lin Fei was. In the sacred spirit palace, he had exchanged 2 blows with the Elysian sun and won by a little. His thunder leap had spread throughout the dark shadow palace. Now they had finally experienced how powerful this young Lin Fei was. His powerful aura was almost suffocating them. Go and inform them to come out in the time it takes for an incense stick to burn. Lin Fei said coldly. With a wave of his hand, a chair appeared, and he sat on it, closing his eyes to rest. Lin Bai and Xiao Wu endured the oppressive aura. When they heard this, they thought to themselves, oh no. Now was not the time to put on airs. What should we do? We can only inform them. The two of them could not figure out why Lin Fei had to put on airs at this time. Call them out? Chapter 2886. Not far away. Vice Hall Master Bai Chong heard everything and couldn't help but chuckle. What a childish brat. Does he really think that he can show off his might just because he has mastered the thunderclap leap? He's dreaming if he thinks that we can leave together. Vice Hall Master Bai Chong shook his head with a cold sneer. He believed that no one would leave the Hall of Punishment. When Shengyang wasn't in charge, the authority of the Hall of Punishment was basically in the hands of the Elysian Sun. The other 3 Vice Hall Masters were unable to contend against him, and their authority was mostly taken away. In the Hall of Punishment, all the deacons who had submitted to the Elysian Sun were arrogant and disrespectful. They didn't put the Vice Hall Masters in their eyes at all, and all the other leaders had submitted to the Elysian Sun. Those who saw Lin Fei just wanted to watch him make a fool of himself. Hearing this, everyone laughed and scrupulously. Invite us out. Ha ha ha. We're all Lord Elysian Sun's men. Lord Elysian Sun said that we can't go out, so who would dare to do so? No matter how strong Lin Fei is, he can't compare to Lord Elysian's son. In the Hall of Punishment, we have to respect the Elysian son. Let's not go out. Let's see what Lin Fei can do. The Elysian son's clone wasn't in the Hall of Punishment, so it was meaningless. The 5 deacons were practically in charge of the entire Hall of Punishment. Apart from extremely important matters, they wielded immense authority in the Hall of Punishment. Even the 3 vice hall masters had to step aside. Ha ha ha, did you hear that? I thought that Lin Fei would have 3 heads and 6 arms, but it turns out that he's just a brainless fool. How dare he ask us to go out and meet him? What a joke! A skinny middle-aged man, Lung Feng, couldn't help but mock. I knew it. I thought that he would invite his seniors here today. If they were here, he would be able to put on airs. But he actually came alone. What a young man! Youth is capital. He has the capital to be arrogant. But it's a pity that he came to the wrong place. The 5 deacons were all smiling. They took it as a complete joke. What a joke! This was not a place where Lin Fei could put on airs. Even if he was a vice hall master, they did not take it seriously. Ever since they pledged their allegiance to the sacred Son of Heaven, their lives had been getting better and better. Their power was monstrous, especially in their own territory. No matter who it was, they had to act according to their wishes. Even the 3 vice hall masters had to be polite to them. Pass down the order. No one is allowed to go out. Lung Feng was the first among the 5 to seek refuge, so he was entrusted with a heavy responsibility. At the same time, he was also the head of the 5 deacons, representing everything. If Lin Fei wanted to put on airs, Lung Feng would make him lose face and become a joke. In the penalty hall, it was not the place for that guy to be presumptuous. We really have to thank those 2 fools, Lin Bai and Zhao Wu. They actually teamed up to play such a show. After today, their subordinates will be too embarrassed to continue following them. Ha ha ha. Lung Feng laughed happily. Lin Bai and Zhao Wu personally went to inform them. Even if it was not successful, they still went. At least they did as Lin Fei said. In fact, they also regretted it. When the sacred Son of Heaven came, they could actually pledge their allegiance to him. But they wanted to put on airs so that the sacred Son of Heaven would know that they still had some ability in the penalty hall. In the end, the sacred Son did not take them seriously at all. Instead, he promoted a few deacons and directly contended with them. Hence the current situation. We've already informed them. Lin Bai and Zhao Wu quickly brought people over and said cautiously. Although Lin Fei was younger than them and also had the strength of a supremacy, the 2 of them were far weaker. They also relied on the rewards of the Dark Shadow Palace to be able to advance, and they had almost exhausted their potential. In front of Lin Fei, who was also a supremacy, they really did not feel proud. Lin Fei sat there, his boundless aura stifling and terrifying. They could not even muster the slightest thought of resisting, even though he was not the strongest among the supremacies. Among the younger generation, Dugu Yijian was recognized as the strongest. Lin Fei, who was resting with his eyes closed, did not say anything, nor did he open his eyes. He just sat there quietly like that. Master, are you really going to fight later? Lin Fei closed his eyes and let the little fiend observe everything in the penalty hall. It seemed like he was resting with his eyes closed, but in fact he silently saw everyone's reaction. That's for sure. Didn't you see that they are treating me like a joke? Lin Fei snorted in his heart. The sacred Son of Heaven thinks too highly of himself. He actually didn't personally oversee this. He will definitely regret it. The 5 deacons, Deputy Hall Master Bai Chong, and the other leaders of all sizes heard and saw all kinds of expressions and words clearly. They were either gloating or waiting to see a joke. I think that the sacred Son of Heaven will definitely regret not personally overseeing this today. The little fiend smirked. Master, you can do your best. Many supremacies in the void are watching. Logically speaking, It is impossible for me to become the deputy hall master of the penalty hall. After all, there are 4 deputy hall masters in the penalty hall, and one of them is the famous sacred Son of Heaven. With such a person overseeing this, it seems unnecessary for me to join the sacred Son of Heaven. The power behind the sacred Son of Heaven will not allow me to join the hall. In conclusion, the higher-ups are not used to the sacred Son of Heaven and need to teach him a lesson. As for who it is, I don't know. So, no matter what I do, nothing will happen. Lin Fei had seen it very clearly in the past few days. He was used to teach others a lesson. His strength was not bad, and he also had the great supremacies behind him. Since 100,000 years ago, they had not been on good terms and would not have joined forces. If he did not look for him, who else could he look for? Because of this, Lin Fei became the most suitable person. It's almost time. It's time to show my might and teach them a good lesson. Lin Fei thought about it and felt a little expectant. It was perfectly justifiable to plunder life energy. Mosquito meat was also meat. When Lin Fei opened his eyes again, he suddenly stood up, and a terrible chill swept over him. No one is coming. Lin Bai and Zhao Wu almost couldn't resist it at that moment. The people behind them all sat on the ground, paralyzed. There was only one thought in their minds. Oh my God, he's too scary. I'm going to die. We've all gone to inform them, but they... Lin Bai and Zhao Wu lowered their heads, unable to say anything. They couldn't possibly say that their influence was not enough, so no one paid attention to them, so no one would come. Chapter 2887. Invite him out. Lin Bai and Zhao Wu exchanged a glance, surprise flickering in their eyes. Is he going to make a move? The two of them were excited. Since Lin Fei was Grand Monarch Heavenshaker's personal disciple, anyone who dared to cause trouble for him would be tired of living. Furthermore, under normal circumstances, everyone should have come out to greet the new Vice Hall Master. Now that Lin Fei had done so, it was perfectly justifiable for him to do so. No one could say anything about it. Hurry up and lead the way. Deputy Hall Master Lin, this way. Lin Bai immediately changed the way he addressed him. This matter was no longer a small matter. It had risen to a very high position. They were impressed by Lin Fei's guts, young and impetuous, attacking at the slightest disagreement. If it were them, they wouldn't have dared to do such a thing. At most, they would have cursed inwardly to satisfy their cravings. This was a rare opportunity. How could Lin Bai and Zhao Wu miss it? How could Lin Bai and Zhao Wu miss this rare opportunity? They took the initiative to lead the way. Let's start from the nearest one, Lin Fei said indifferently. He headed straight to the nearest side hall. The punishment hall was huge, made up of many palaces. Every palace had a law enforcement disciple, all of whom were elites handpicked by the Dark Shadow Palace. They had learned joint attack formations, and their combined strength could easily defeat a 5th or 6th order heavenly god realm cultivator. These people were waiting to see this new deputy hall master make a fool of himself. When the ridiculously young Lin Fei walked in from the main entrance of the palace, the expressions of the young punishment hall disciples changed slightly. They were not used to this. Why aren't you two leaving? The one who asked was Lin Fei. Lin Bai and Zhao wanted to scold him, but Lin Fei stopped them with a look. They could only stand to the side, a trace of anticipation on their faces. The majority of the punishment disciples were Elysian children's men. They didn't expect the new deputy hall, Master Lin Fei, to really come over to reprimand them. This was completely different from what they had imagined. Logically speaking, after failing to intimidate them, they should have left with their tails between their legs. But the current situation, they were dumbfounded. Vice Hall Leader Lin were the Elysian Sun's men. Furthermore, we're on a mission at the moment, so we don't have the time to welcome you. Please forgive us. A middle-aged man, who seemed to be the leader of the group, stood up and said, "Why did these words sound so uncomfortable?" The smart ones were lying with their eyes wide open. They didn't look apologetic at all. Instead, They seemed to be very proud of themselves. It was as if they were saying, "Come and torment me if you have the ability." "Oh, I see." Lin Fei raised his eyelids. "Then I'll only ask you one thing. Are you not going to make a move?" The middle-aged man was also a sixth-order heavenly god realm cultivator, thinking of the Elysian heavenly children behind him, not to mention that this was the punishment hall. Even if Lin Fei was the newly appointed vice hall master, how would he dare to make a move against him? "I'm sorry, Vice Hall Master Lin, we are on a mission. We can't go out," the middle-aged man said. Lin Fei's eyes narrowed. "Since you don't want to go, I'll send you out." Swoosh! With a wave of his hand, Huang Xiaolong's physical strength surged out, condensing into a giant hand that covered the sky. It grabbed all the punishment hall disciples in the side hall and flung them outside. "Without my permission, all of you kneel." With a loud bang, a treasure flew out with the force of Mount Tai, pressing down on them, rendering them unable to move. Next place. He really made a move. Has Vice Hall Master Lin gone mad? Is he planning to shed all pretense of cordiality? This is too unwise. Inside the other side halls, everyone saw the scene. That person's treasure was pressing down on the punishment hall disciples like dead dogs, causing them to be dumbfounded. They had never thought that Huang Xiaolong would really make a move. "Quick! Look, another group of people went out. They've all been suppressed." Heavens, they really dared to do it. That's the third side hall. Are they planning to offend everyone in the punishment hall? After the first group of people came out, the second group of people were thrown out like sandbags. The moment they landed on the ground, they were suppressed, unable to move. The first group was nothing much. But after the second and third group, things were different now. The punishment hall disciples were being thrown out one after another. Everyone could almost see what was about to happen. If they were to be thrown out, they would really lose all face. It's the 10th group. Lin Fei has really gone mad. He's going to make the entire punishment hall his enemy. Shenyang, you haven't come out for a long time. Are you planning to stand up for Lin Fei? In the air not too far away, the black-robed hall master, Shenyang, looked on with a calm expression. The corners of his lips curled up slightly, as if he was in a good mood. "Is that so?" Shenyang asked calmly. An old man with a thick aura of a supremacy stood beside him. He had a look of disbelief on his face. "Not yet. How long has it been since you came to the punishment hall? If you're not here for Lin Fei, who else could it be? I don't believe that you're here to check on the punishment hall. You're really thinking too much." The old man really had to hand it to Shenyang. "Aren't you afraid that Lin Fei will tear down the punishment hall? Look at his behavior. TSK, he's completely violent. Ha 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 ha. I didn't expect you to use such words." Shenyang laughed heartily. "Old friend, you seem to have forgotten something. Supremacies of the body tempering school are actually warmongers." The old man laughed dryly, revealing a trace of embarrassment. "Vice Hall Master Lin, this is Vice Hall Master Bai Cheng's office." Lin Bai and Zhao Wu's mood became better and better. The feeling of throwing people out was too good. It was as if they had eaten a peach, and their bodies felt refreshed. They had thought of this countless times, but they didn't expect to see it happen in their lifetime. "Go in." Lin Fei strode in. Vice Hall Master Bai Cheng had been watching from above. He thought that Lin Fei would leave dejectedly, leaving behind a big joke. However, what happened next left everyone dumbfounded. He charged into the side hall, threw everyone out and even suppressed them. This was different from the situation. "Sir, Vice Hall Master Lin Fei has come in. What should we do? Will he throw us out?" Bai Cheng had wanted to watch a good show. However, the current situation made him feel uneasy. He was the deputy hall master. Bai Cheng did not believe that Lin Fei would dare to not give him face. Surrounded by the crowd, Bai Cheng came out. "You must be Deputy Hall Chief Lin Fei." "I am Bai Cheng." Bai Chong said with a smile on his face. He was jealous of Lin Fei's youthful appearance. At such a young age, he really thinks that he can get whatever he wants. I will be the first to disagree. I'm curious. Why do you want to sit back and watch them fight? Lin Fei stared at Bai Chong and said, Is it because of your status as the Deputy Hall Master? A trace of panic flashed across Bai Chong's face. His smile also became ugly. Vice Hall Master Lin, what do you mean by that? Nothing. I just want to tell you that you're not qualified to be the fisherman. You're far from being able to see me make a fool of myself. Now get out of here and stand properly. How dare you? Bai Chong was furious. Lin Fei was too bold. There's nothing to be afraid of. Boom! A bolt of lightning flashed. Chapter 2888. It was the thunderclap leap. Bai Chong did not expect Deputy Hall Master Lin Fei to really dare to make a move. All he saw was a blur, and a purple shadow flashed before him. He kept retreating, and his face turned pale. Lin Fei also appeared behind Bai Chong. He grabbed Bai Chong's neck with one hand and casually threw him out, suppressing him. Lin Fei, how dare you do this? Bai Chong, who was being suppressed, roared. Bai Chong struggled to hold on, unable to move at all. It was as heavy as a mountain. This scene was too fast. Lin Bai and Zhao Wu broke out in cold sweat. Deputy Hall Master Bai Chong was also a supremacy, but he could not even block a single thunderclap leap from Lin Fei and was easily suppressed. This power was too strong. Next place. Lin Fei moved even faster. No need to throw. We'll go out ourselves. Let's go out. Those who had planned to watch the show ran out one by one. What a joke. If they did not go out now, did they really have to wait for the other party to throw them out? Didn't they see Deputy Hall Master Bai Chong being thrown out? As a result, a comical scene appeared. Those people took the initiative to run out and stood outside obediently with flattering smiles on their faces. They could leave a good impression if they took the initiative to go out. These bastards, now they know fear. They were still so stubborn just now. Lin Bai cursed. Deputy Hall Master Lin is still the best. Both of them knew that these people were usually not so easy to negotiate with. They were completely afraid that Lin Fei would throw them out. Did they not see how many people were suppressing them outside and how miserable they were? Madman, he's a complete madman. How could he do this? In the largest palace, the 5 attendants' faces were ugly. They had seen the scene outside clearly, but they had never thought that Lin Fei would really dare to make a move. Not only did he throw them out, but he also suppressed them like dead dogs. They did not even have the strength to curse. As long as they cursed, their minds would loosen, and they would become miserable. This move was ruthless. Not good. Lin Fei is here. He's coming in soon. The subordinates outside ran in a panic. All the team leaders' eyes fell on Lang Feng, hoping to come up with a good idea so that they wouldn't fail miserably. If they were all thrown out by Lin Fei today, how could they raise their heads in the future? It was impossible for them to retreat. Lang Feng's face was frighteningly gloomy, full of hostility. Didn't Lin Fei want to make a fool of us? I'd like to see who will make a fool of himself. Open the formation immediately. The 5 of them were deacons, and their strength was naturally no match for Lin Fei. They all knew that Bai Chong would not be able to withstand a single blow and would be thrown out. Really? This palace was the administrative core of the punishment hall. The formation had always been in their hands. Isn't he very powerful? Then let's give it a try. Lang Feng would never lower his head. If he did, he believed that the Elysian Son of Heaven would not let him off. Let's go to the dungeon and wait for Lin Fei. Lang Feng's words also aroused the other deacons. They had the support of the Elysian Son of Heaven. Who's afraid of who? Lin Bai and Zhao Wu came to the last palace excitedly. At the entrance of the palace, it was quiet and the door was closed. Deputy Hall Leader Lin, this is the core of the punishment hall. Lin Bai frowned slightly. It seems that they have shamelessly opened the formation. Too shameless. How can they open the formation? Zhao Wu was also very angry. In the face of a deputy hall leader, they actually opened the formation. It was no wonder that Zhao Wu was angry. They completely regarded them as enemies and guarded against them. Lin Fei's face was very calm, and he was not angry because the formation was opened. The punishment hall really needs to be reformed. They actually want to use the formation to deal with me. What a good method. Unfortunately, no matter how clever they are all paper tigers in my eyes. Today, I will have a good time with you. Lin Fei strode forward. Deputy Hall Leader Lin, it's dangerous inside. Below is the dungeon of the punishment hall, which holds all kinds of prisoners, including some experts from outside. They must have been thrown into the dungeon. Lin Fei shook his head. It's okay, you guys can stand outside. Thunder leap. A touch of purple flashed. The activated formation instantly cracked, and Lin Fei disappeared in front of the palace. This method is really unimaginable. No wonder everyone covets this body-tempering killer move. Not only can it be used to kill enemies, but it can also be used in this way. It's really unexpected. Lin Fei came to the palace. In the dim environment, there was a different kind of aura. Inside the palace, the formation had already been opened, and all kinds of killer moves were launched. They really treated him as an enemy. Lin Fei's eyes narrowed slightly, and he directly walked forward. The underground entrance was not far ahead. Those attacks were all crushed into nothingness when they were a short distance away from Lin Fei. None of the attacks could hurt Lin Fei. At the same time, in the dungeon below the palace, Lung Feng had been watching. He can't even block it. This power is too domineering. He can even block this kind of attack? Even a supremacy can't do it so easily. Even the illusion can't stop him. The faces of the wardens and leaders who were watching became even more unpleasant. Lin Fei seemed to have entered an uninhabited land, and he was calm all the way. No matter what attack it was, it could not threaten him. At this speed, he would soon arrive at the dungeon. Oh no, he's coming down. He's on the first floor of the dungeon. There were a total of 5 floors in the dungeon. The Divine Realm disciples of the Dark Shadow Palace were imprisoned there. They were now on the 5th floor. Lung Feng stared at Lin Fei's figure. Suddenly, Lin Fei looked in one direction and smiled. I'll be there soon. Show me what you've got. You won't have a chance later. He found us. Damn it, how did he find us? At this moment, they really panicked. They originally thought that they could use the formation to block Lin Fei, or at least prevent Lin Fei from achieving his goal. But now, it seemed that the situation was quite bad. Lung Feng suddenly stood up. We can only use our last move. Isn't he very powerful? But there are also experts in our dungeon. On the 5th floor, there are 3 supremacies, all of whom are captured by the experts who are enforcing the law outside. Warden Lung, I'm afraid that's not a good idea. Those 3 are all demons of the Demon Nation, and each of them has amazing strength. Once we let them go, what if they escape? Chapter 2889. It was Lin Fei's first time coming to the dungeon created by the disciplinary hall. The dark and oppressive aura was very uncomfortable. That's him. Kill him, and we'll have a good life in the future. Everyone, let's attack together. As soon as he came down, Heavenly God experts rushed up with killing intent. More than a dozen streams of light shot out with more than a dozen dazzling attacks. Is this all you've got? How disappointing. Lin Fei shook his head slightly. He raised his hand and punched out. Whoosh! Whoosh! A terrifying fist wind swept out. Those Heavenly God experts who rushed up flew out one by one and fell to the ground, wailing in pain. In that instant, Lin Fei plundered a part of their life force. The dungeon was huge, one floor after another. Lin Fei pushed his way through. knocking down all the heavenly god experts who rushed out and plundering a part of their life force. He did it quietly and without anyone noticing. Even if someone had doubts, they wouldn't think too much about it, let alone know that Lin Fei's proud heaven cultivation technique required life force. Boom! 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 Lin Fei charged down. I can't stop him. He's about to reach the last floor. He's too strong. The last floor. Warden Lung Feng smiled sinisterly. Great. The more people Lin Fei injures, the better. It'll be justifiable to deal with him later. This should be the last floor. Lin Fei lost count of how many heavenly god experts he had defeated. Along the way, all of them were heavenly god experts. You guys are quite capable. It took me a lot of time to invite you out. Step by step, Lin Fei saw the 5 attendants, as well as the leaders of the various organizations, all of whom were staring at him with fear and fury. Lin Fei, how dare you collude with outsiders to rescue the demons of the demon motherland? You're dead this time. When Warden Lung Feng saw Lin Fei, a sinister smile appeared on his face. The Dark Shadow Palace will not allow people like you to exist. Rescue? Lin Fei really admired this deacon. Not bad, not bad. In order to deal with me, you've really gone to great lengths. You've even come up with such a show. Deacon Lung Feng stared at Lin Fei and said, You'd better surrender now. Once we start, you won't have a good ending. Come, come, come. Come at me if you have the ability. Because of your actions, I plan to give you a gift that you will like very much. From their words, Lin Fei had no intention of letting them go. Towards this kind of guy who wanted to kill people, he would never be lenient. Kill. Looks like you won't shed a tear until you see the coffin. Administrator Lung Feng was determined to deal with Lin Fei. At that time, the Legion Son of Heaven would surely be delighted. If things went well, the Legion Son of Heaven might even support him to become the Vice Pavilion Master, a truly authoritative figure. Men, send him up. At this point, the 5 deacons had the same idea. They must suppress Lin Fei. A burly man who was chained all over his body came out. His eyes were very cold, and his body was filled with a faint black fog. His face was also blurred. La 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 la. There was a long black chain in each of the burly man's hands, making a creepy sound. He walked forward step by step, and with each step, the black fog behind him grew stronger. In an instant, his aura rose to a terrifying level. They said that if I kill you, I won't have to be tortured for 100 years. A cold voice that seemed to come from hell reverberated in the last floor. Clatter! The burly man swung his hands, and 2 black chains were used as weapons. Like poisonous arrows, they pierced through the void and shot towards Lin Fei. At the same time, a terrible black fog with ghostly wails and wolf howls rushed towards Zhang Xian. Powerful, ferocious, and the black fog can also affect people's minds. This must be the devil of the demon country. The description of the devil of the demon country immediately came to Lin Fei's mind. They strengthened their strength by killing people. The person in front of him was a devil. Lin Fei still had a little expectation, but at the same time he hated these people. They actually mobilized the devil of the demon country. They wanted him to die. Lin Fei squinted his eyes and stretched out his hand towards the void in front of him. He shook it left and right, and with 2 clangs his palm hit the iron chain. The attack deviated and brushed past his side. After the attack missed, the burly man reacted quickly and controlled the black chain to counterattack. Lin Fei still hit it with his palm. The other party's iron chain attack missed again. What moves do you have? Show me, and let me see the power of the devil of the demon country. Lin Fei stood still and hooked his finger at the burly man. Clatter! The burly man put away the iron chain, leaped into the air, and appeared behind Lin Fei. A huge fist punched out, and the fist was filled with black fog. Tens of thousands of people wailed in the fog. He definitely can't block the attack of the devil. Deacon Lung Feng was very confident in the devil. They were all natural warriors and they were the strongest. Their physical bodies were also the strongest, and they could easily defeat heavenly gods of the same level. No matter how strong Lin Fei was, how could he be stronger than the devil of the demon country? Although the devil of the demon country was wrapped in iron chains, it didn't affect his speed. His attacks were very fast, and he could throw out dozens of punches at once. Each punch could produce a sharp sound, forming an invisible attack. Is this the attack of the devil of the demon country? It's strong and has a strong penetrative ability. It can break through the surface defense of the body, and the black fog attached to the fist can affect one's mind. Lin Fei's footsteps seemed to be light, but he could constantly avoid the attacks. His hands weren't idle either, and each time he slapped out, he could block the attack. Faster! A trace of surprise appeared in the cold eyes of the burly man's demon. After so many attacks, he actually couldn't leave any injuries on the other party's body. This was too unbelievable. Arrogant, the attacks became even sharper. A black shadow appeared around Lin Fei. Lin Fei had an easier time dealing with it. In a confrontation of strength, he wasn't afraid of anyone, other than a few people. The devil of the demon country was actually much weaker. Devil devouring the 9 heavens. After another series of attacks, there was still no effect. The burly man finally used a terrifying killer move. His entire body turned into black fog, and with a whoosh, a hole was torn open, and it rushed into Lin Fei's body. Ha ha ha, he's finished. This is a very powerful move of the demon country. It can steal one's life energy, and it's impossible to defend against it. Lin Fei definitely won't be able to block it. These deacons all knew the moves of the devil of the demon country, and they had seen it with their own eyes. The move in front of them was the most terrifying. Chapter 2890. Deacon Lung Feng's eyes widened. What the hell is going on? The move Devil Devouring the 9th Heaven was a very violent and ferocious act of plundering. There was no way to resist it. Anyone who mastered the move Devil Devouring the 9th Heaven was very threatening. No one knew when it would be used. Once it was used, then congratulations, you hit the jackpot. Why, his move didn't work. Looking at Lin Fei, who was unscathed, the 5 deacons were no longer calm. Plundering life energy? Lin Fei almost laughed. Devil Devouring the 9th Heaven was indeed powerful. It could plunder everything it could. But for Lin Fei, his plundering skill was the most powerful. Once the other party entered his body, it would be plundered immediately. Did I disappoint you? Lin Fei walked over with a purple gold hammer in his hand. Unfortunately, you won't be able to see it. The sky splitter hammer in his hand smashed towards them. After a loud sound, the 5 deacons, including the leaders, were all turned into minced meat. Their life energy was also plundered in an instant. It was completely quiet. Lin Baihe and Zhao Wu were both waiting. They were still very worried in their hearts. Below this palace was a dungeon. What if Deacon Lung Feng and the others were arrogant and domineering in the punishment hall? There was nothing they couldn't do. They were really worried that they would do something crazy. He's out. Lin Fei came out of the palace entrance. Vice Hall Master Lin, are you all right? The 2 of them went up to him. What can happen to me? Lin Fei smiled. Unfortunately, they won't have the chance to participate. The devil of the devil country actually escaped. It would have been better if they had gone earlier. Lin Fei immediately had a look of regret on his face. Thump! Lin Bai and Zhao Wu realized what had happened. The rest of the matter was simple. The members and disciples of the punishment hall were thrown out, and they stood together in fear and unease. You should know who I am now. Lin Fei spoke indifferently, and his voice was filled with a domineering and dignified tone. I don't care who all of you belong to. In a place like the punishment hall, it's not your place to put on airs. From today onward, If anyone thinks they're someone, then you can fuck off. The punishment hall doesn't need people like you." The people below all lowered their heads, their eyes filled with anger. "By the way, I would like to inform everyone that Deacon Lung Fong and the others had an accident. They encountered a demon from the demon country and were completely annihilated. Everyone, please observe 10 breaths of silence for them." Lin Fei threw out another message. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Everyone's expression changed. He couldn't believe that the news was true. Those were the 5 right-hand men of the sacred Son of Heaven, and they controlled everything in the disciplinary hall. But now they had mysteriously died? Die at the hands of the demons of the demon motherland? A terrible chill rose from the bottom of their hearts, and their bodies involuntarily trembled. Bai Chong, who stood closest to Lin Fei, subconsciously sucked in a breath of cold air. A voice in his heart kept telling him, this must be Lin Fei's doing. The demons of the demon motherland must have died at the hands of Lin Fei. What a vicious method! Bai Chong knew that Deacon Lung Fong would use the demons of the demon motherland to deal with Lin Fei. The only thing he didn't expect was that Lin Fei would be so cruel. Those were 5 deacons, and they were all the men of the sacred Son of Heaven. The punishment hall can't go a day without a deacon. I've decided to arrange for 5 heavenly God disciples to replace them. We can't delay the position of the punishment hall. Lin Fei pointed at the 5 middle-aged men in the crowd. You, and the few of you, from today onward, you're deacons. Your appointment will be announced soon. You'd better get to work immediately. The 5 heavenly God experts were all dumbfounded. They couldn't react for a moment. This was like a pie falling from the sky. Without the 5 deacons obstructing them, coupled with the fact that Lin Bai and Zhao had no objections, the first appointment was done. It was so fast that no one could react. Everything was settled. Dismissed. All members of the punishment hall will stay. What a decisive killer. Chief Hall Master Shenyang laughed. He's indeed ruthless. He got rid of 5 deacons and more than a dozen leaders in one go. He wiped out the sacred Son of Heaven's forces and reduced his influence to a minimum. Ha ha ha! This is what the punishment hall needs. Lin Fei's performance was beyond everyone's expectations. Clean and decisive. Those who were not convinced could fight him. Some people liked this method, while others disliked it. Lin Fei was like a thorn. He didn't care about seniority and settled everything with force. For a moment, it caused a lot of discussion in the Dark Shadow Palace. The remaining members of the punishment hall were all stunned. Lin Fei promoted some captains and replaced the dead leaders. He got rid of some die-hard followers and took control of the punishment hall. Everything became orderly. The death of Deacon Lung Fong and the others. Someone immediately went to report to the sacred Son of Heaven. The sacred Son of Heaven's main body wasn't around, and his clone was. His expression turned ugly. He really dared to kill my people. The Elysian Son of Heaven was very confident in the law enforcement hall. However, after listening to the report from his subordinates, he still underestimated Lin Fei's violent methods. If they didn't come out, he would invite them out, surround and kill the escaped fiends, sacrifice themselves. Hearing these words, the sacred Son of Heaven knew without thinking that they couldn't have been killed by the fiends. They most likely died in the hands of Lin Fei. He was really ruthless. If they were killed by Lin Fei, the sacred Son of Heaven had many ways to deal with them. However, it was hard to say if the fiends were involved, even if he was certain that Lin Fei was the culprit. I've made a mistake this time. The sacred Son of Heaven went to the punishment hall immediately. This matter had to be dealt with. When the sacred Son of Heaven's clone arrived at the punishment hall, the disciples of the punishment hall all lowered their heads. Everyone knew that something big was about to happen. Those who had previously sided with the sacred Son of Heaven seemed to have found their backbone. Lord, you have to seek justice for us. That Lin Fei is too domineering. Deacon Lung and the others died too tragically. Soon, a group of people appeared behind the sacred Son of Heaven. They wanted to see how Lin Fei could continue to be so arrogant. The sacred Son of Heaven was the master of the punishment hall. There was no need for the sacred Son of Heaven to look for him. Lin Bai and Zhao Wu are both inside. They are Lin Fei's lackeys. The sacred Son of Heaven pushed the door open and entered. Deputy Hall Master Lin, what do you mean by this? Do you really not take me seriously? In the punishment hall, you're not the one who has the final say. It's me, the sacred Son of Heaven spat. He had to give an explanation for this matter. The sacred Son of Heaven was here to interrogate them. Chapter 2891. The Elysian Son had always treated the disciplinary hall as his private territory. In his own territory he had never feared anyone, not even the chief hall master Xingyang. This was also the reason why he had pushed open the door and barged in without even greeting them. He had done as he pleased. Who are you? Who allowed you to speak like that? Do you have a death wish? A confidant behind him bellowed. With a loud thud, the Elysian Son's confidant flew out and landed heavily on the ground outside. That's the hall master! Someone exclaimed from behind. They hadn't noticed the hall master's arrival at first. Only when he attacked did they react. When did the hall master arrive? Why hadn't they heard from him? They were in deep trouble this time. The Elysian Son's expression changed slightly, and he smiled. Hall master, I'm really sorry. My people are used to being lazy. Please don't mind them. He hated Lin Fei in his heart, so he quietly invited the first hall master over. This was a ruthless move. Hall master Sheng Yang glanced at the Elysian Son. You need to discipline the people around you, lest they embarrass themselves in the future. Hall master Xingyang seemed to have forgotten what the Elysian Son had said. I'm here today to take a look. Now that the disciplinary hall has the two of you, I hope you can cooperate well. Don't make a mess. The disciplinary hall is used to manage the disciples of the Dark Shadow Palace, not just anyone's territory. Hall Master Shenyang's tone was much more serious, especially since he was looking at the Elysian Son when he said this. Hall Master is right. I'm here to have a good chat with Lin Fei. The Elysian Son didn't dare to lose his temper. Hall Master Xingyang was a senior in the Dark Shadow Palace. If he really started a fight, it wouldn't end well. Hall Master, actually, I also wanted to have a good chat with Brother Sheng. After all, if it wasn't for me, his people wouldn't have died in the dungeon. Sai, what a pity. Lin Fei said apologetically. This bastard. The Elysian Son wanted to curse. This was like rubbing salt on the wound. The Elysian Son of Heaven also knew that it was impossible for him to cause trouble for Lin Fei today. The great hall master's presence was the best proof. Brother Lin, you don't have to feel so guilty. As a deacon of the disciplinary hall, dying in the line of duty is also their mission. Who can avoid trouble after becoming a member of the disciplinary hall? Even for us, we might get into trouble in the future. The Elysian Son said hypocritically. He just wanted to leave this place immediately. Sai, I'm getting old. I'm relieved to have you guys in the disciplinary hall. Take your time and chat. This old man will leave first. First Hall Master Shenyang stood up and left after saying these words. Once Hall Master Shenyang left, the Elysian Son's gaze turned cold. You've done well, but don't be too happy for too long. It's not easy to become the disciplinary hall's deputy hall master. Lin Fei didn't care about the Elysian Son's words at all. It's not up to you to decide whether I can sit still or not. It's up to me. As for your subordinates, I think they need to restrain them. I've already mentioned it to the hall master. In the near future, I'll reorganize the disciplinary hall. I'm just reminding you first, in case you don't know. You win. The Elysian Son turned around and left. Come visit me when you're free. Tea will definitely be served. The Elysian Son cursed in his heart. Who the hell would come to your place for tea? Your arrival has reduced my influence. The Elysian sun arrived quickly and left just as quickly. The deacons and the only deputy hall master by Chung who had been waiting to watch the show were all dumbfounded. It ended just like that. What? The hall master was here? The news spread quickly within the disciplinary hall. Everyone knew that the Elysian sun had lost this round. Lin Fei had invited hall master Xingyang over and schemed against the Elysian sun. In the end, the Elysian sun was humiliated in front of everyone. The Hall of Penal Law was about to undergo a huge change. As expected, in the few days after the Elysian sun left, those who had been neutral all sided with Lin Bai and Zhao Wu. Now, everyone knew that Lin Bai and Zhao Wu were Lin Fei's men. Their statuses in the disciplinary hall instantly rose. For a time, the Hall of Penal Law was in a stalemate. The Elysian sun also restrained his subordinates from harming Lin Fei. For a time, everything was peaceful. The hall master appointed a few deacons, and Lin Fei's position became even more stable. 5 deacons, 2 deputy hall masters, and a few other leaders. Lin Fei's influence in the disciplinary hall was not low anymore. After the disciplinary hall was reformed and a portion of the disciples were cleaned up in the Dark Shadow Palace, Lin Fei had completely stabilized his position. He had thought that there would be a big fight, but it did not happen in the end. However, Lin Fei's savagery also caused people to secretly fear him. 5 disobedient deacons and leaders were killed just like that, and then he pushed the blame to the demon. This was definitely done by Lin Fei. To the Dark Shadow Palace, a few deacons and celestial god disciples were really nothing. Even the hall master Xingyang did not say anything, so who would dare to say anything? However, in private, everyone feared that this Lin Fei supremacy might take down a few attendants with a show of strength. Those were attendants with considerable authority. During that period of time, many supremacies came to visit, and Lin Fei received them one by one with a smile. Speaking of which, there was not much to do in the disciplinary hall. It was nothing more than targeting the Dark Shadow Palace disciples, using force without permission, and so on. When there was nothing to do, it was actually quite idle. From then on, Lin Fei began to be a hands-off boss. Now, both sides minded their own business and things were peaceful. As for how long this peace would last, no one knew. In his cave residence, Lin Fei constantly practiced the killing moves of Overlord Body 12 Layers. After replicating the cultivation method on the 2nd floor of the library, he made some changes to some of the moves of Overlord Body 12 Layers. There were some changes in the way he used the moves and the way he used his strength. Most importantly, Lin Fei had the system create a hammering technique that could be used with the Sky Splitter. The hammering technique given to him by his master was not very powerful. Lin Fei was not very satisfied. In the future, he would have to use the Sky Splitter with his current identity. This was a good thing. The peaceful days lasted for 10 years. Other than in his cave residence, Lin Fei rarely came out. The disciplinary hall was also very peaceful. The Elysian children seemed to have forgotten about the incident. Just when everyone was about to stop paying attention to the disciplinary hall, something happened. A supremacy disciple of the Dark Shadow Palace beat up someone in the City of Shadows. He was so arrogant that the law enforcement team rushed over but failed to apprehend him. Instead, they were beaten up. This was no small matter. Chapter 2892. Lin Fei really did not enjoy a long period of peace. Lin Bai and Zhao Wu came together, and their faces did not look so good. What happened? Is there something you can't solve? Lin Fei was a little surprised to see the two of them. If there was nothing, the two of them rarely came to disturb his cultivation. In these 10 years, Lin Fei had been cultivating almost all the time. This was something that everyone in the Saint Spirit domain knew. Even if Lin Bai and Zhao Wu were 100 times braver, they would not dare to disturb his cultivation. The only possibility was that something had happened. Lin Bai said shamefully, "Hall Master Lin, we did not do our job well and embarrassed you. Those people are probably laughing at us. He lowered his head as he spoke. Zhao Wu was the same. Lin Fei frowned slightly. Why? Is someone provoking the disciplinary hall? Something that could make the two of them helpless was not a simple matter. However, in the Dark Shadow Palace, it seemed like no one dared to provoke them. This was a violent department, and it was very domineering. It's like this. Lin Bai lowered his head and explained everything in great detail. Back then, the Elysian Son of Heaven was in the disciplinary hall. He used his strength and influence, and everyone had to give him face. Ever since the Elysian Son stopped interfering, almost everything was left to us to handle. As time passed, those people's true colors were exposed. Lin Fei finally understood what was going on. In that case, those people were testing us. If we did not handle this well, the disciplinary hall's ability would be questioned. In the future, no one would take the Dark Shadow Palace seriously. Lin Bai and Zhao Wu nodded. We all went, but those people did not give us face. We had no choice. Zhao Wu said with a bitter smile. The Dark Shadow Palace is so big. There are 3 to 5 supremacies. Offending one is equivalent to offending a group of people. Lin Fei narrowed his eyes. The Elysian Son really knows how to undermine us. He did not believe that the Elysian Son was not involved in this matter. In these 10 years, Lin Fei had a more direct understanding of the Dark Shadow Palace. The entire Dark Shadow Palace was a place where strength reigned supreme. Within the rules, one could use their strength and no one could say anything. The higher-ups, the 5 great supremacies, and the Divine Venerable Sir were basically laissez-faire. Within the rules, no matter how you fight, they won't say anything. But once you leave the rules, you'll be out of luck. Don't worry about this for the time being. Lin Fei suddenly smiled. After you go back, do what you usually do. No matter how much trouble those people cause, you don't have to care about it. If you really want to care about it, at least show some respect. If they don't want to show off, then let them do it for a while. It's meaningless to deal with them now. When the time comes, we can catch them all in one net. When Lin Bai and Zhao Wu heard this, they secretly took a deep breath. Hall Master Lin, isn't this bad? Those supremacies. He had offended all of them. Even if they didn't do it, they still felt their scalps tingle when they heard it. What are you scared? Lin Fei asked with a smile. We're members of the disciplinary hall. We're born to stand against everyone. Even if we offend them, do you think they'll dare to kill us in the Dark Shadow Palace? The two gulped. Lin Bai gritted his teeth. Hall Master Lin is right. Who is the disciplinary hall afraid of? They wouldn't dare to kill us, even if they were given 100 guts. Let's go all out. Zhao Wu said through gritted teeth. Lin Bai and Zhao Wu went to report the situation. Their whereabouts could not be hidden from everyone. Everyone knew that they had gone to look for Lin Fei. Now, everyone in the disciplinary hall, including the entire Dark Shadow Palace, knew that they were Lin Fei's men. Everyone wanted to know if Lin Fei would make a move. If he really made a move to capture those people, it would be really interesting. Very, very interesting. But in the end, they saw Lin Bai and Zhao coming out dejectedly. When they returned to the disciplinary hall, they were also sighing. It was not until a long time later that a confidant secretly spread the news. It turned out that Lin Fei wanted to cultivate in seclusion and did not allow anything to disturb him. Once the news came out, everyone laughed. Lin Fei was afraid and found a good excuse for himself. Brother Sheng, this is a good move. You've tested Lin Fei's attitude. In an elegant room, a few supremacies were sitting together. Everyone was toasting the Elysian Son, respectfully. The Elysian Son took a sip of wine and shook his head slightly. This is not enough. Lin Fei is very cunning. Who knows if he's playing hard to get? So, this matter must continue. The more you people make trouble, the more the disciplinary hall's lack of ability will be an eyesore. At that time, even Hall Master Xingyang won't be able to protect Lin Fei. What a brilliant move! Now that everyone knows that Brother Xing doesn't care about the disciplinary hall's matters, the higher-ups will only find trouble with Lin Fei. With a big hat of incompetence, Lin Fei can only get out of here with his tail between his legs. Ha ha ha. I can't stand that guy either. It's the best thing to see him get out of here with his tail between his legs. We'll definitely handle this matter well. It's his fault for offending Brother Sheng. You're the future hall master of the disciplinary hall. The Elysian sun listened to the compliments with a smile, but a cold glint flashed across his eyes. Lin Fei, let's see how you're going to fight with me. In the Dark Shadow Palace, be it in terms of connections or influence, I'm 100 times better than you. I can make you scram with just one move. From now on, you'll become a joke in the Dark Shadow Palace. Do you really think that you can control the disciplinary hall with the support of 5 wardens, Lin Bai, and Deputy Hall Master Zhao Wu? Dream on. Faced with the increasing provocation of the disciplinary hall at the beginning, Lin Bai and Zhao Wu did everything themselves. However, after every attempt ended in failure, the disciplinary hall became even more rowdy. Bai Chong's people watched from the side and restrained their subordinates from helping out. The Elysian Sun's people were the same. They holed up in the palace and basically didn't care about anything. Gradually, rumors began to spread in the disciplinary hall. Hee, we can't do without the Elysian Sun. That's right. It's only been 10 years, and our disciplinary hall is already like this. In another 20 years, they won't even care about us anymore. Lin Fei, the deputy hall master, can't do anything. Back then, if the Elysian Sun and deputy hall master were around, who would dare to mess around? But now, a few disciples of the supremacies are enough to give Lin Bai and Zhao Wu a headache. He. Time passed year by year. The disciplinary hall's performance disappointed many people. So what if it's the disciplinary hall? Come and catch me if you can. My master is an elder of the divine realm. Come on. Who's afraid of who? You dare to catch us? Scram as far as you can. Without the disciplinary hall, the pressure was gone. The divine realm disciples were all smug.